Let's turn on one of the mic aux channels and see if that's coming. No, I get the feeling it was at least, yeah, partially on me. Okay. And how about the dreaded echo? Any luck? It's okay, Mako. No echo. Alright, we're back on track. Glad to hear it, everybody. Thanks for the patience. A couple of minutes out at the beginning is not too bad. Better now than, what was it like? Yeah, tonight. Okay, Mako? As long as you're up for it as well. Yeah. I gotta remember to not forget. That's hard enough. Yeah, so as I was saying to myself and Marvel, apparently, I was up real late last night for essentially no good reason. Um, I was not doing anything other than reveling in the fact that it is a Sunday night and I did not have work on a Monday morning. So, I mean, I read the entire Pathfinder Gods and Faith for Second Ed. I don't know. I like the setting and decent book. I like that they introduce a bunch of divinities and several of them are at least partially queer. Queer enough when a book is made by a committee. But it just seems shallow, you know? You get a page to maybe 2 pages on each individual divinity and that's it. They really went for quantity rather than quality on them. At least it's not bogged down entirely with mechanics. You know, I remember there being a divine obedience feat in First Ed Pathfinder that was like you gain a specific benefit depending on which deity you worship as long as your worship includes X, and then it described a riddle, described a small ritual, and then that's it. Like the tiny bit of the ritual, and that's a stand-in for an understanding of how this religion interacts with the world. I don't know. I sound bitter and jaded because I am about halfway through the second book of Lehan Myserial's Night Blade, which is the sequel to Night Glass. And I just kind of really like hearing about the really, really dark, essentially Cenobite divinity of Zon-Kuthon. I find their practices really interesting, and Lehan Myserial really makes me want to learn more about the divinity, and when I do, I pull up their page in the specific about setting book. It's just not much there. Well, tell me more about how weirdly enmeshed this divine sadist is to the city state of Nadal. Not a city state. That's all we get. I think maybe that's why I prefer Pillars. And like, you can see the divinities. They're up there. I'd say as I give a very rude British hand gesture. And every one of them seems to have a massive impact over the entire setting. Mago's got it right. Each of them a motherfucker. Yeah, absolutely. They're jerks. That's not new at all. That's to be expected. Their position in the narrative is nearly always antagonists. But you actually know who they are. And you understand how they fit into the world and one another. Luxie, good to see you tonight. But I finally think you feel more to you than Pillars. Well, I mean, there is a narrative reason why they're all jerks. At least it comes up. As Pillars is setting themselves up as as Pathfinder setting itself up as a sandbox, it's hard for them to justify essentially saying every divinity is a dick at all times. Well, they included a nation of enforced atheists, and they kick out divine spellcasters and proselytizers. Rahadun. There's 2 books about one of them. Someone who worked for the guard that kicks out agents of the divine, and then was like actively chosen as an inquisitor against his own will by Pharasma, the divinity of judgment and death. I'm like, hello, Captain. As an exploration of freedom, no, that sucks. But as a narrative device, I love it. I love it. I alt-tabbed and I clicked live stream, and I am now going to click continue. You don't want to jump up there, little kitty. A dog is sleeping there. He's a good cat. He's been only slightly howly today. He's singing, dude. Yeah, Mecca. I had that discussion on RPG opinions about gods giving me visions of someone on what their order, and that was not something I was cool with. Yeah. There's something to be said that divinities do not understand consent. And that reflects often endemic power structures, i.e. other large structures exist in our world, where large enough power structures and power systems are just like, we're only going to pretend to care about your consent. Stay put for a bit. We have no game sound. Oh, see, that one's at least easy enough to figure out what's going on there. Game sound is just quiet. How about now? Yeah, they're quiet. Oh my god. You can hear my mouse clicking. Yeah, the game sound is quite low. It's because Final Fantasy 2 and things were messing with me. Okay, there you go. Should be quiet, but we should have it now. Okay, so this came before Kingmaker, and Kingmaker ripped it off. I don't know. Tell me about it. What specifically are you talking about, Maker? Divinities, that's for sure. But what part? Excellent. Good. And their voices are quiet because, let's just face it, they are. And while you type that out, Mako, I will just briefly recap what we did. Music down, master volume up a little bit more, voice to max. They're quiet because they were shouting. Overhead parts, storybook parts. Peelers did that first. But in the end, that's a very simple interpretation of, like, it's a choose your own adventure book inside a video game. I actually don't think it's a massive jump, so much so that I'm convinced Pillars didn't even do it first. But I do know that Kingmaker was released after Pillars. Last episode, which is 2 weeks ago, because Fighting Fantasy, thank you, you're right, they are skill rolls. 2 weeks ago because I had a spine tap. Hell yeah, which is good fun. I'm alive. It was not a fun couple of days, that's for damn sure. But And then 2 days later, I had the second flu vax, which knocked me around real hard. But we're alive now. We entered Durgan's Battery and essentially cleared through the whole place, discovered that the dwarves, bound themselves to Durgan's Battery. And we're like, cool, good on you, we're sending you off. Off you go to the wheel. You can be reborn now, okay? And then there are hints. We spent a lot of time talking about what are the eyeless, what is this unseen enemy, why do we keep seeing all these dwarves attacked by forces, but we don't actually know what they are, and that we ruminated on that as an enemy. Like, it's a pretty interesting discussion to go through. The crumbling edge of this long platform suggests that there were once stairs leading down from here, perhaps joining with a pathway some distance below. It seems a manageable jump from here, on this side, but you doubt you'll be able to return the same way. Jump across. You leap, and for a dizzying moment the ground below flashes past, and then you are across the gap and upon the second tower. This...
Of course.
Fuck me. Now you're as loud as hell. So grab the bow. It vibrates with a strange and familiar energy. In searching your pack, you find the silver arrow that you found lodged in an injured winter wolf. As you hold the bow and arrow together, the arrow suddenly snaps into place. You hear a crackling hum, and a pale ribbon of light begins to form between the ends of the bow. When you pull back, you feel a very solid resistance. Stormcaller added to inventory. Okay. Why did it take so long for the voice volume to come across? What's strange up there? There are bells too, yep.
Hey.
Still too loud. There you go.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
That's gonna get very annoying. There you go. Music up a little bit more. Okay. So, the bow is supposed to trigger when you pick up the silver arrow or the hunting bow, you get not much, and then when you get them together, something happens. But it's a hunting bow, it's two-handed, it's good. We're gonna give it to our good friend, probably not Durance. It is very funny to give bows to Durance, but Sagani can take it when we pick her up next. I like this sort of end of dungeon. You can dramatically have the end of a dungeon. Sorry. I didn't expect to have enemies again so quickly, to be honest. It does kind of seem mean, given how wounded Heravius is after that, to immediately jump back into combat. Okay, so that was quite loud. Could chat sing out if that was uncomfortable after I had adjusted? Fine for Mako. Okay, good. Glad to hear it. Let's get out of here. I'm gonna press S and F all the time and fuck that up because I've been playing so much Pathfinder. I've actually failed to play much Final Fantasy at all in the last little while, which is not good. It's not terrible, but still. I'm paying a subscription fee for a game I actually quite enjoy, but I just can't be bothered logging in, even to level up my Chocobo. Because if there's free time, or if I'm not guilting myself about not writing anything, I just want to be playing Kingmaker.
Stones and the spirits in this place have begun to heal.
Ow. Vicious mercenaries attacked the stronghold. Mercenary Mindstriker was killed. South Curtain Wall was destroyed and barracks was destroyed. That's new to me. I've never seen that happen before. Where they destroy things. Good lord. I have to rebuild the South Curtain Wall. Good lord. Okay, well, you do what you can. You've caught up with the story too, haven't you, Miko? Right. I know, Luxie. Ages back. Fantastic. Hello, Captain. Wow. Hi. Yeah? Okay. You want to sit on my lap or on my computer? You just want to yell? Yeah, you're allowed to yell. You're a good boy. Wow. Dark Knight 60 to 70 floor G. I will get to it. I want to speak to Aloth. Aloth looks at you with quiet attentiveness. How may I be of service? About your parents? He looks at you cautiously. Yes? Why was your mother gone so often? She was invited to join a Heimlich with a landed Thane when I was very young. His estate was a 5-day ride from our home in the Seathwood, so that was part of it. He gives you the smallest of frowns. The real issue, however, was my father. Despite his initial agreement with the arrangement, father was never happy with it. He would hound and harangue my mother when she was home. He wanted to know whether she was intimate with the Thane, no matter how many times she swore she wasn't. It was never enough. As you can imagine, that led to her coming home much less often, even though she still supported us financially. I'm sure she was trying to take care of you in her own way. What is a Heimlich? In not the Vailian Republics, wherever Alice is from, I'm sorry. What is a Heimlich? Yeah, alright. Secretary? Kind of like magical secretary. And he is where I'm going to press a button and turn to be incorrect. A ceremonial marriage between folk and elf. Because Adia mainland has historically been split between the two races. We have many institutions that are designed to normalize relations. Monarchy is headed by folk, but an elven consort rules alongside the reigning Faerknig or Meckwing. Faerknig. This is the most prominent example of the Heimlich. In many examples, a Heimlich allows two households to pool resources. Among the aristocracy, Heimlichs consolidate power. Sometimes, as in... doing Alice's voice all wrong. Sometimes, as in my mother's case, a Heimlich was a means for noble to add another administrator to his or her household. Secretary! Consorts are received with almost the same level of respect as their noble counterparts, which can be extremely useful. Of course, Heimlichs are sometimes used to sanitize an extramarital affair. He shrugs. I don't know that it's really any better, but it seems to satisfy common notions of decency, as elfin folk unions are sterile, which no doubt eases some concerns. It sounds like your father had a problem with his temper. He had a problem with my mother's Heimlich and his temper. Don't excuse the abuser, buddy. Even though they agreed on it long ago that the financial benefits would be considerable, that it was little different from his role as the Earl's steward, it ate at him, and so he drank and raged. When she was home, he raged at her, and when she wasn't, he raged at me. More than anything, he wanted me to become an arcane knight in the service of his Earl. I think he felt this would validate his chosen career and master. He was a firm man, as he saw, but in the end I became a successful wizard due in no small part to his strictness. Nonsense. You accomplished that on your own, and you would have been fine without him pushing you. Are you so certain? I didn't know what I wanted for my life then. I surely wouldn't have been so focused without a little direction. Alice, we don't excuse abusers. Yeah, she's the Luxie Mako, exactly. Direction. He beat you, Alice. He beat you because he didn't get his way. and beating you ensured that he got his way more often, and he could force the issue in that way. Why would he ever stop when he gets everything he wants? So, now you understand a little more about Isselmere. He wrinkles his nose. No thanks to that animancer. My spleen, black bile, come on. Bella said his methods were flawed, but you still learned something, didn't you? Only because you and I have a lick of good sense between us. But the average person, show them a shiny gadget in the hands of an expert and they'll believe anything. I don't know, I think you'd be more pleasant without your spleen. He sneers. Oh, hilarious. We should have a take a look at you. What she'd like to remove then. That's all. Cheers, Aloth. Look at all the bonuses we have for sleeping at home. Isn't it nice? Let's gain some. Remember, it said the White March Part 2 can be started by sleeping anywhere outside of Stalwart, or the lands of White March. As you sleep, you are buoyed by and buffeted by the vagaries of dreams. They tumble and thrash about you and fill your mind's eye with pale, glittering motes. They resolve into a light snowfall and a biting northerly wind. You recognize the mountains of the White March rising around you, and you shiver. You see Stalwart a few miles away, quiet and still but for the few curling streams of smoke rising from the chimneys. Durgan's battery is perched above it, its shadow stretching into the valley. Above it all, you hear a deep, slow rhythm. First it sounds like distant drumming, then it grows louder, cracking through the dry air and booming from the mountain peaks. It builds until you feel it reverberating beneath your feet. Watch and listen. Each thud comes louder and faster than the next. Thunder echoes from the mountaintops as great sheets of ice and snow tumble down the slopes. But the rhythm keeps building, shattering frozen lakes like crystal saucers. Now new ravines split through the mountains as old chasms fill with snow and scree. A rock slide buries Stalwart and Durgan's battery is shaken into rubble. Shadows rise over the mountains, the vanguard of a massive army. You flee. You tumble from the foothills and bound across the deerwood, feeling the rumble of the advancing army all the while. Barricade yourself in Cadnua. Cadnua rises from the forest, its walls, though only half mended. Hey! Promising safety. It was fine until we ended up here. You barricade yourself within the great hall as the pounding grows closer still. It rattles the foundations of the great keep, and you, just as the masonry begins shaking loose, you hear an unholy battle cry coming from your courtyard. The ceiling collapses and sends a cascade of bricks and beams onto your head. You struggle to wakefulness, kicking at the bedding knotted around your legs. As you shake free from the last bonds of sleep, you hear a voice whisper something in a language you've never heard and see an image of 100 shifting, staring eyes. You awaken, feverishly warm and covered in sweat. Seek information about the army and Stalwart. Nothing new from Sagani?
So the dwarves of Durgan's battery did not destroy themselves after all. They fell to invaders.
It's a shame for them that they were destroyed. They might have become great. Actually, I don't like that as much. Let's go. It's possible someone survived and escaped this place.
We have discovered things thought to be lost. Their influence may yet persist. But we have seen no invaders, and the battery was shut. Did they come only to destroy the dwarves, and then leave?
Curious question, Zawa.
A hopeless battle was waged in Durgan's battery. They seemed to know that their deaths had come, yet many fought on.
Even now, they continue to fight on.
Their bravery was not enough in the end.
Toss the dwarves into the lake.
They might have made great Alpazka warriors, if only they had been born to Khan.
I hate that that's a requirement, Zawa.
What do you need of Zawa?
Nothing new.
Need something?
Thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come the words.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
I wanted to know more about you. Are those the same robes you wore at Halgot? Durance frowns. Why do I... The tension in his face slips into irritation. Your memory is both a curse and a curse. I wore these in our pilgrimage to Halgot as well as after. He glances at them. We were to travel quietly so few would know our religion, or intent, like executioners with robes instead of hoods. How did they get burned then? These are the robes I wore, are the ones I wore at the Citadel when the Godhammer was triggered. Imagine a campfire, then a field of them. His hand cradles his staff, then form them into a sphere and let it grow until it fills the air. He swallows, his throat dry. Its violence run through my stave, and my spirit, like 100 lightnings all around me, was flame. It tore at my skin, even burst vessels in my flesh. He holds up his sleeves, yet the robe survived. He grins, scars in his face bunching up beneath the coarse beard hairs. And you've worn them since? If Magrin deemed I should wear ash while dispensing her justice, then so be it. It exists at her pleasure, for her pleasure. Durance shrugs. Either way, she answers my call, quietly or loudly, but her colours seem weak in comparison to the acts one does in her name. And quiet is how I prefer. I find others of my faith do not tend to take me for a second glance at the fire of my spirit does not grace my staff.
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skin...
Tell me about Magrin. I fear you may not like the heat by the fire, Watcher, but if you can bear it, then I'll tell you what I know. Does she have any allies?
Some, shaped for hunt and war. Abidan the Golem. Galawain and his beasts. The latter keeps us honest and awake. The other makes the tools by which we punish those who are not.
He pauses, his finger scratching at a pox scar on his cheek. Durance lets his free hand form a double grip in his staff. Abaddon? Not surprised you haven't heard. More gods than weeds in a field, and these are only ones of this lifetime. They come and go, but they're always here at the same time. Abaddon used to look human. Durance grunts. Got killed, then built a new body for himself. Transformation, with Magrin's help. Perhaps she needed her own blacksmith to tend the fires. If so, Abaddon serves it. Durance frowns. He's a weapon, a tool, not a god in my mind. Still, the people of the Deerwood, the cities especially, hold him dear, so be it. Although if the reward for hard work and craftsmanship is a body like his, I'll keep my blood and cock and hips to thrust it with. You're a tool, exactly. Luxie's got it right. I mean, Meko's also got it right with this fucking guy. You also mentioned Galawain? Monster Father, the Great Hound, and as for monsters, this world has quite a bit, and not just the ones on two legs. It's as if it's as if he's made monsters solely to hunt them, to remind men of their place. He's busy making more, I suspect. More monsters in sense, variation upon variation. What do you mean? His aspects are a confusing bunch, considering he respects reversals of fortune, especially in beasts. Perhaps not so confusing. No reason why Magrin and he share a bed in my eyes. If he does believe in the trial, a filthy Orlan god in many ways, howling and mewling perhaps like they do, he can keep their beasts. I'll take fire and weapons every day. Durance, what the fuck? Also, so let's go with 2. I'd watch your next words carefully when speaking of Orlans. Durance glances at you then snorts. All in defiance, now there's someone to fear. A lot of good that did you when your slaving was at its peak, and you were all foot rugs and prone rugs for various shit-heeled nobles. Durance sneers. Those days may come again. After all, you deserved it. Deserved it? What do you mean? Durance looks at you surprised. Too weak to defend yourselves. You were tested, still are, and you're lacking. War isn't going to stop to wait for you to catch up. He frowns as if thinking. Now an All-in Watcher. Maybe get enough of you and you'll have a chance. We'll see, won't we? At least I will. Not sure if your eyes will. Too busy looking outward, judging me for your own failings. Alright. You didn't stop talking to me the way you sometimes do, Durin, but Jimbles can literally stomach no more of your bullshit right now. Fuck me. Quest failed. Regrets worth trading. What was that? Looking through our chat log. See where that was supposed to be. I can't see it. Oh well. The Forgotten Army. Oh, jeez. Tired of that Durance guy. Holy crap. The guy wanting to get his medal back. Oh!
Stones and the spirits in this place have begun to heal.
You're right, Mako. I absolutely forgot that. Here's that ogre friend. I like what you've done with your garden. Well, sucks that I failed to drop off a quest forest. Oh well. Anything news to it?
I have heard terrible things. I worried you would not return. Is it true that there are riots in Defiance Bay, and that Avar Wolfgren has been slain?
It's been a long time since that happened. I don't remember how we felt about Avar Wolfgren, so it's true. How terrible. But I'm glad that you are unharmed, my lord. I can only hope the city recovers. What was the state of the keep? That's same as normal, okay. Well, usually we'd trade out some people. I was thinking about pulling Durance back in, but no fucking thanks. Let's keep Hierovius. Nah.
May Wal watch your step.
Thank you. Let's go back with Sagani and Aloth. And yeah, that's good. Look, I was also very tempted to stick with we take Kana when we're going into the depths, but it's getting pretty tough, and we actually need as much as we can. We're only level 12 of 16. We're coming close to the bottom, so I'm going to take some of our heavy hitters as well. These are all the things that we picked up from doing quests, as well as random items. Lots of random items. Sagani, you have a new weapon, if I'm not mistaken. A shiny new Stormcaller bow. Straight up does not do as much damage to begin with, but then we bind your soul to it. Binds Enchanter and Cypher and Ranger as well. Deals shock damage, because all damage with it is shock, to unlock the next level. Easy. Sagani, hey. You're one of our DPS. Let's go. We're going back into the Endless Paths. Taking Devil Rider, the companion we don't know shit about. So like, take Kana as a take
Good day, stranger.
Well, here's the thing. We actually did have Manaha with us throughout the entire of last episode. It's just that she doesn't say much. She's a half-baked and not incredibly deeply written character, especially in places that aren't in the White March. I am gonna pull her, like, where she does have, where she is written, she's good. I like her. I like her plot. It's great. There's not much here. Devil of Karok has responses to some events that happen midway through the game. Like, you take her to the Animancy trials, she can say something, right? But Manaha, no, nothing. So, plus Devil is much more dangerous. So yeah, Luxie's correct. I will take Manaha back with us when we do White March Part 2. Easy as pie. Okay, also, next time we go to the surface, don't let me forget, I have got to drop by the Hunter Shack and get our crest rewards for bounties that we've already completed. Is level 5 truly the lowest we have a staircase on? Oh, well, I've been slack with the endless paths. I'm in two minds about how this whole place feels super empty once you've cleared it, you know? There's 14 or so, maybe a little more, levels, and once you've dealt with the puzzles and gone through, the whole place is just cleared out and quiet and dead, you know?
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Nice. Good meme. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, oh,
I wonder what this is.
Good job. Good job, Aleph. And, like, it's not a great feeling to recognize that you've got all this space and these empty maps that have nothing but memories to them. And it would be good if you would put more, like, let you discover more things, have some things happen, make it worthwhile, but also respawning enemies just doesn't feel right. It's such an incredibly narratively dense and with such a focus on world building, it feels even weirder to have regenerating enemies. They don't appear anywhere else in the game. There are also no random encounters when you're traveling from place to place. Here's where we stopped last time. On floor 8, because we ran into some vampires that were wrecking us.
Me too.
Please, please, please. Good.
You're not getting through me.
It's good to feel powerful. It's good to be able to just walk through a bit of challenge like that. Because we were struggling. I was very stressed the last time we tried to enter this place.
They shall see nothing while I see much.
Got on your grieving. Let's scout. Let's stay safe. Let's explore this dungeon, which is a meme that is now carried forth to other games. And even my tabletop role-playing games where I'm saying dungeon. Simply far too much. Sagani. Don't. At least whatever charm effect got Sagani is making her use like a melee weapon? I think we need to take down the vampire.
How may I?
Get him, Itabak. Low on health, but we're doing okay. Disengage and pull out your bow. Come on. Excellent.
All right then.
Lovely.
I'll take a look.
Now many of us have got soulbound items as well. So there may be a bit of work to be done to unlock them.
How may I help?
Like, we got killing blows with the staff. As you can see, it's going to take a while. If we run into more blights, we might try to manually make that happen. A little bit of intervention. It's probably worth doing rather than just assuming. There's 8 stone coffins aligned with Adra. Peculiar runes encircle the jeweled sphere at the center of the lid. Dargles, skeletons, vampire. So you're going to pull off a charm immediately. I know you are.
How may I help? Lava
Sheila is a good choice. Yes, Mako. Playing turn-based. No. The joke as to why I'm not playing in turn-based mode. There is a particular fight, just one of them, in Pillars of it, not Pillars, in Wrath of the Righteous, where it demands you play in turn-based mode. It's cool because it's a callback to an NPC involved as a bit of a tactics-minded pushy jerk, to be honest. And when you go,
We gotta take better care of
Aloth.
Aloth.
Hear that? Gotta take better care of Aloth. I agree. When you come across the tactics-based historian, military tactics NPC jerk, she's like,
Alright then.
she convinces you, you can convince her to not do something very stupid and mean. She's very evil.
Keeping an eye out.
But if you do demons turn on you, whatever. In that fight, she's like,
Shall be discreet.
alright, yeah, we'll use my tactical knowledge to get out of this problem. And it puts you in turn-based mode. And that's fine. I respect the choice of the designer. That is a good thing to do. It is an interesting twist. I love the Ludo narrative, not dissonance, so assonance, to say in this scenario, since you are listening to a tactics jerk, you've got to use tactics to get through. Very cool. But I don't want to play in tactics mode. I don't think tactically. I can remember some abilities and then press buttons. But even then, that's like pushing it, right? So I don't resent that it's in the game, and I can tell you, I just did a quick Google to see how to resolve that fight, because it was very complicated and I couldn't figure it out. Enemies respawn unless you do 3 things, it's not that hard. And I would have figured it out eventually, it's just
Hey.
already working worse. Look at that! Already dealt 250 shock damage. Kill 5 Kith Druids with Stormcaller, or 25 enemies. Now, it's still 15 to 22, so it's not strictly better, but it is very good. I'll read more of that plot in a little bit. Let's finish my rant. Doing a quick Google of the name of the area,
See nothing
had
while I see much.
pages of people complaining that the game dared change their input method at all, even for a pretty decent point of ludonarrative assonance. So that's why I'm jumping backwards and saying, look, I don't mind that much. It is okay. But it was like an hour and a half for that single fight. I don't want to think tactically for that long. I don't... Why are you using a sword? Back to your gun. Slam Shadows. You're too cool to not use your sword. To not use your awesome gun.
My bow.
Stab the vampire. Get him, devil. No, don't play Ring of Red 6-hour battles. They could be super cool. That could be super friggin' cool and be amazing. A lot of fun to play through. But not for me.
Of course.
I'm on the trail.
Strictly average. Oh. Such an opportunity that has been wasted.
Got it done.
Like, I'm vaguely annoyed on behalf of people complaining at Alcat, which is dumb. Developers are people who need to treat them appropriately, but not to the point of worship. That people found it so irritating that they had to complain about it.
My bow's ready.
Leave it to me.
I don't. The turn-based mode, I went on a little bit of a rant on Twitter, and I'm glad I didn't say like turn-based mode is stupid. It's for people who are boring, because I don't believe that. That's a plus, but I recognize people want to play in that way. It's cool, like to think tactically, to get deep into the system, to make the appropriate decisions at each stage, to have a fun and challenging game, and feel like you're beating it. That's neat. Not why I'm there. I'm strictly there to make the most appropriate choices that feel like the character, whoever they may be. Like a lot of the time I'm feeling, when I'm making level up choices, I'm thinking, does this suit the character that in my head? Not just for the main character, for the NPCs. It's alright, Devil. You're fine. Vampire's still up. This is how every enemy feels when they come across us, when Grieving Mother just walks in and charms someone. They're like, oh, come on. You gotta admit it is annoying. Stop that.
I wish you no harm.
Except when we do it, we don't. It's a Max just growling repeatedly because he was stunned. The deep tactical decisions while in Pathfinder, I'm glad they exist, that's for sure. When I've got the character sheet open and level up dialogues, I'm trying to get Devil cackling, yes, and Itumak growling because he was stunned. No, don't cross the bridge. There's a dialogue trigger there, we're going to go there next. Cutting open the sausage. Adra Beetle? Wait a minute, Eloth! Oh, it's blights, not beetles anymore. Oh well, you get away with it this time. I can highly recommend Wrath. Wrath of the Righteous is fantastic. I was openly quite nervous that it was not going to be an amazing game. Turned out to be fucking great, so... Call me shocked. Game developer known for making good games makes good games. And I'm not going to do spoilers. I was actually pretty glad that a friend didn't spoil something on a very minor point of an NPC that I was worried about. I'm going to say it. In the first book of Wrath of the Righteous, the 6-book adventure path written, and published by Paizo ages ago, there's several named NPCs that survive the fall beneath Canabras with you.
My thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
I liked all of them. The book suggests like interweaving them a little bit and using them. The runes and engravings on this unfamiliar machine are unnaturally well preserved. The machine itself remains inert and lifeless. Well, good. I'm glad we don't have an Egwithan machine to channel souls here underneath our own goddamn town. That would our own goddamn keep. That'd be awful. The NPCs at the beginning of Wrath of the Righteous are cool. I like them. And the book suggests like using them as much or as little as you'd like. And that has a profile of Enevia Tirablade and
You're not getting through. You're not getting through.
why can't I remember her goddamn wife's name? The half-orc paladin wife, who's gorgeous
You're not getting through me.
and is constantly about looking after people. Might be Erebeth. Yeah, Erebeth Tirablade.
Hey. Hey,
Amber Scott wrote the book, and Amber Scott also wrote a significant part of Siege of Dragonspear, which is a pretty good expansion. Look, here's the next one. We found it, level 8. Siege of Dragonspear, a pretty good expansion to Baldur's Gate.
Slow and silent.
And internet chuds get really annoyed at Siege of Dragonspear because there is a trans NPC who mentions they're trans pretty quickly. That's not that weird. You're specifically asking about her name, and she goes, "Oh yeah, it's May Sandor because I made it myself out of other bits because I got to choose my own name because I'm trans." And that's when everyone goes, "Ah man, wish I got to choose my own name," and and then you move on because they're not actually that important. Anivia is trans in the book in Sword of Valor. No, the first book. Can I remember? The Whirlwind Attack. Whatever. The Whirlwind Incursion, the first book of Wrath of the Righteous. And it's not explicit to, like, it's explicit in the NPC dialogue and suggested and their background at the back of the book. It should come up. And it's a really sweet, it's a cute story. Her and her wife have a great time. Well written, really nice. It doesn't come up in the Alcat Games version. Early. It doesn't come up till Act 4. In fact, there are a couple of stages. The more friendship you get with the two of them, Anivia and Erebeth. As you get closer and closer, you can like get slightly more information about. Oh yeah, I sold my sword for her. I'm like, oh why? Yeah, whatever. I'm not telling you. I'm like, oh, I sold my sword for her for medical treatment. Oh, what was it? I'm not telling you. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And until Act 4, where you need to pass a very high diplomacy check to be like, hey, we've been through a lot. I'm still curious. What do you think? And Evie eventually goes, yeah, all right, sure, whatever. And she goes, yeah, because I was born male, or at least born in a masculine body, and so Anivia sold her sword, and I bought a potion. It's been fantastic ever since. And it's like, I don't even think there's a dialogue option to disapprove of that. So like, good, because don't disapprove, you dick. That'd be awful. But I was nervous that a game developer set in Moscow would be under too much political and awful chud pressure and remove this part of this very cool character. And every time Wrath of the Righteous and this game is given an opportunity to potentially disappoint me, it doesn't. I was potentially disappointed that Social Vanek, who was a NPC and not that important in Sword of Valor, the book 2 of 6, is turned into a full companion. Where's Social's boyfriend? Where's Aaron Keir? Huh? Come on, he had a cool plot too. Where'd he go? He's a love interest for the main character in the PC game. What's going to happen to poor Aaron Keir? I'm perhaps potentially a little disappointed. A few hours after he's introduced, another named NPC called Aaron is just hanging out, and it slyly references his plot for the game, for the adventure path. And he can't be Social's boyfriend, or at least not for me, because I romance Social. So maybe he turns up later, if you don't. But yeah, it seems like every time they potentially might disappoint me, they don't. And that's a really good feeling. A really good feeling. Especially at the bravery for being a game studio in Moscow, and then not shying away from it. And like Kingmaker's got like a poly triad, a poly couple that happily includes you in a triad. Fucking great. Anyway, Dargles. Friendly Dargles. Friendly Dargles? Friendly vampire. Oh my god. What is this? Vampire. At the center of this massive address structure, beneath the long shadow of the Titan's curled fingers, sits what appears to be a man. Unlike the slavering, animalistic creatures you have encountered on this floor, this man is regally composed, lounging upon a crooked stone throne, and his gaze has a piercing, feverish quality. He watches you intently as you approach. What are you, then? One of theirs? Strange that you survived the planning stages. He speaks in fluid Anguithan, you note, though his voice is taut with strain. It must have been hard for them. Those beggars, those cowards, but you weren't going any further. No, you can go right on back to them, your masters. Let them feast on you instead. I think you've been down here a little too long. The man looks startled and gives a short laugh. You understand. Look here, even the foreigners speak our tongue now. Truly, we are an immortal people. He laughs again. But that only makes it all the more clear, you see. You must be with them. How have they kept you so whole? You're remarkably well preserved. His eyes narrow. Attempt to pass, and you will go screaming back into the void, puppet. I'm searching for the master below. I see your own masters have grown superstitious. Master below, indeed. How easily they turn from old loyalties. To think Odnua trusted their like. I won't waste another word on their messenger, even if it is quite nice to speak again. No, go away. I've had enough. This will sate me for another 100 years. If you're talking about the creatures in those old rooms, I've already dealt with them. Good. Very well. Very good. He touches a hand to his mouth, brows knitting, and then laughs. Yes, it's all mine now. No more of this screaming. No need for any more pointless demonstrations of power. Go on then. Go barreling down into the deep if you like, if the beetles don't make a quick end of you. Beetles? Voracious little devils. They're what caused this whole mess. You can kill one easily enough, but there's a great swarm of them, chewing through the Adra. My Adra. There's only the arm now. Is that true? In any case, I'll tell you apart just as easily as they do the crystals. He pauses. More easily. I had some questions first? Yes, I said you could have some answers. What is it? Alright, who are you? Did you want a name? I forgot those ages ago. Well, who's going to call me anything down here? There's me, and now there's just you. That's all that matters. I was entrusted with the tests we performed here. The foremost, he taps his temple, mind of the age. None could rival me for arcane power, save Odnua himself. He pauses. Perhaps some of his advisors. What was this place? Oh, many things. Our home, once. Before that, a place of great deeds. He chuckles. Those foul chambers in there were once the site of incredible discoveries. We were given the bulk of this floor. There was construction at all hours, of course. He gestures towards the Adra arm. For all our work was, of course, for Odnua's purposes. He laughs. Think on it. A dozen sculptors carefully crafting a fingernail, souls flung from their shells on the floors above and below, and all the while Idros fusses over a cuticle. What kind of experiments were you doing? Why, we were preoccupied with the matters of the soul. All of us were. Because Odnua was. But here we toiled to find the dividing line between life and death, and crack it wide open. We were attempting to find a means of binding souls to their mortal vessels, preventing them from crossing the shroud. I say attempting, we found it, of course. A dozen minds set to purpose. How could we not? The things we learned. What a glorious time. We could determine a precise manner in which a soul would crack and shatter. Could carefully place a fragment from one to the other. He smiles at the memory. While our fellows wasted their efforts on phenomena like blights, we delved right into the heart of the matter. There were certain gaps in our knowledge, of course. I was perhaps enthusiastic in my pursuits. I thought that if anyone should attempt a more personal approach to the tests, it should be me. No amount of uncertainty will make the imbibing of a poison a less pleasant experience. Death is the ultimate test, you see. If the soul has flown, then you know you've failed. Your work sounds similar to animancy? Like what? The man shrugs. Perhaps others follow in our steps. I have not had the opportunity to keep up with the state of magical study. He smiles thinly. How have you stayed alive all this time? The big question. Binding a soul to its body was not turned out very difficult. We were certain we'd found a kind of immortality. The body could be destroyed beyond repair, but anything less is quite survivable. I was eager to attempt it. My leg at the time pained me terribly. Old war wound. And I'd heard one subject describe a sense of distance from the pain inflicted upon them. They felt it, but it didn't matter to them. Which would be a vast improvement. I remember the first moment, the relief, he sighs. But we found that after some time the body would remember that it was, after all, dead. There's really no describing what it feels like to see your own fingers rotting away. It makes a face. The smell. We tried to revive the affected subjects with energy culled from their fellows, and it worked well enough. I was able to refine the spellwork, keep myself and the others who had joined me as hale as ever. Odnua wasn't terribly pleased with the distraction, but that turned out not to matter. The mob came and murdered him, and we were sealed in here with the rest of his tools. But we still had the Adra, you see. Enough souls in there to feed us for, well, as long as we wished. And so, he grins, we had a time of it, we did. We were able to preserve the furniture over the years. Had little meetings in the grand chamber. What a nice little family we were. His grin fades. Till it had to end. What happened here? Here, you mean with them? The Adra? All of it? It's a long tale. My patience has diminished with time. I'll tell you what's happened recently. It was the Adra beetles. Well, you wouldn't think it was something so small, so mundane, but they came swarming up from the lower reaches and started to feed upon the live Adra. Go on. I tried to fight them off, of course, but it was impossible. Kill one and two more behind it. Something must have driven them up here. I don't know what. They all but amputated our Adra limb, not enough to support all of us. Not us in the rooms, the tapestries, everything, but enough for me. None of the others knew the spells required. Their only part in it was simply to lie in their Adra coffins and be revived. By me. So it was an obvious choice, wasn't it? No more of that. No more of anything. Swore I'd burn them all to kindling if they came near. Fortunately, you made that unnecessary. How could you do that to your companions? You're soft-hearted, considering it was you who put an end to their immortality. They weren't anyone's friends. They would have licked the brains out of your cracked skull if they could. There wasn't enough life to go around. That's all it was. And 2,000 years is more than long enough to get to know someone. Think on it this way. You've sent them on their way, and they will live again in time. Isn't that a comfort? I'm looking for the master below. Do you know who that is? None of us took such grand titles. The only master of this would be Odnua, our king. A poor, grief-maddened king. He laughs. Would he call himself such, I wonder? Odnua is dead. The mob would not have retreated without having killed him. He thinks for a moment. But then, if we could preserve ourselves despite our deaths, perhaps so could he. I am sure I considered the possibility once. It would all come crashing down, that if any man would prolong himself, it would be him. I wonder, was it he who drove the Adra beetles up here from below? His face twists with anger. Who stole our Adra source? Does he mourn his son yet, the mewling fool, that he should resent our feeding upon his statue? Possibility. He regards me with sudden calm. After all this time, it wouldn't surprise me. Can you tell me about Odnua? Our great lord. A wise man in his day. Until his son was lost. An accident, some small, unfortunate turn of fate. You have come but a little way past the sealed chambers. You must know, by now, that Odnua did not take it well. He chuckles. This monument to his grief outlasted him. But his madness provided opportunity, a promise of immortality for all of us. If it was found at the behest of a grieving father, what did it matter? He had a flock of devoted servants. For we had to find the soul in question, to bring it back from wherever it had gone to house it somewhere suitable. He indicates the statue. Such discoveries have costs. Something the rabble didn't understand. Hey, chat. You got a minute to decide. Sir, 8 or 9? You tortured people and used their souls to prolong your own life. You don't deserve immortality. Or, I have no more questions. You have like a minute or so to decide. Vote for 8 or 9. What should we do? While you think up of a good decision, I have a fun way forth. I might as well just give a summation of essentially what we know about this statue. We've just learned a lot from this little dialogue. He reiterated. Here's the key part. Odnua's son, the great lord, wise man, Odnua's son died in an accident. He didn't take it well. He was pretty upset about it. So he built a gigantic statue made of Adra. and set people to task to find his soul on the wheel and draw it into the stone in some sort of way to bring it back. And that's what we're doing here in the Endless Paths of Odnua. We're walking on a statue made to represent Odnua's son. And the initial assumptions on who the Master Below is keep getting turned aside. It's not this guy. It's not the statue. Maybe Odnua. Who sent the beetles up? Who's trying to destroy whoever holds Cadnua as a town? We have had no votes at this point. Larks has just said you're pretty on the fence here, and I think I'm going to go with I have no more questions. Very well. Good to stretch your vocal cords, I have to say. Actually, fuck it. You torture people and use souls to prolong your own life. You don't deserve immortality. It was all for a good purpose. I'll show you, once this spat is done, just how malleable a soul can be. He rises from his throne. Your blood holds far more life in it than the Adra. Why not turn on a villain? Have a bit of fun. Cast some high-level chain lightning spells.
Lavaru, be on seek!
Hey, Maker. I hope dinner was excellent. Get him, Itamak.
I shall end this.
Great sword. Yeah.
Damn it!
I shall
Quick.
It's a long stun. You won't last that. Grieving Mother's destroy vessels. Just went off.
Hey,
How many Vor crimes has Jimmels done? None! No Vor crimes. No Vor at all. Unique heavy armor that gives second chance and law giving? Cool, love it. Speed. What are you wearing? Medium armor. Wonder if we should equip you with some heavy armor. That second chance is very, very useful.
hey.
Once per combat, if you go down, get back up. Very useful indeed. Well, that was fun.
Hey.
Thick copper veins run beneath the outer surface, providing a skeletal framework that protrudes like bone
All right then.
from rotting flesh. Thick rust-red veins of dead Adra worm their way through the statue's wrist and into the darkness beyond. It's a shame, Maker, because the last half hour we essentially discovered why the statue was built and what it's supposed to do.
My bow's ready.
Indeed.
Bonk,
Let's have it out!
bonk.
Quethe, Silmis, me too.
Lovely. And down we go. What are all these beetles doing here? And who may have sent them? Now those are questions we don't know yet. It doesn't mean we're not interested in the answers. I'm very interested in the answers. That's why we're continuing to go down. Look at this, level 9.
Nice and quiet.
Deep in the depths of the endless paths of Ardnua. This address has turned a dull shade of crimson. Entire sections of it have crumbled away from the walls and ceiling. Those they're incorrectly. Well, who may have sent them? That's true. Did the Master below send beetles to gnaw at the Adra? Maybe. God, that looks sadistic, doesn't it? They're spikes. Mako has found out things. Exciting. What are the beetles doing? They're eating Adra. Om nom nom. What do Adra beetles eat? Adra.
You're not getting through me.
Also, Adra beetles not only eat
My
Adra,
mind
but
feels
end up with Adra shells. Om nom nom. Secret ending of Kingmaker. I don't know what it is, and haven't done the secret ending, and probably will at some
If you
point.
say so. That'll do.
Probably will at some point, but not right now. So, I don't mind being spoiled on it, but I can't tell you what it's like to go for it.
Yes?
Lava.
Oh, that spell totally failed.
Most
Because the target died before.
Dead on.
Yeah, he's not amazing. Has your favorite trait? Don't tell me. A villain or female villain is redeemed or shown to be not that incorrect. Sarcophagus. Some vessel, flesh, and a bone. Nothing else. 800%. Yeah, well, there you go. I generally fall back on the cool motive still murder statement on a lot of those. Which makes me an unpopular figure in some parties. Oh man. Do love talking shit with everyone in chat. It's fantastic. Lady Villain is human, yeah, also a plus. I mean, having a good time. It is. Can't cross there. It is like
That'll do.
8:14. We've been talking for an hour and a quarter. We're just hanging out. Good fun. Shout out to everyone in the VODs as well. Because a fifth rack. Hey buddy, what are you doing up here? We helped one of your buddies earlier, didn't we? Weird. It's good to see people in the VODs. I hope they're having a good night. I mention it because I've been catching up on VODs too. Like,
Ain't
now that Watch and Play... Aloth! Oh, sorry, Adair! You hold them back.
Not to alarm you, but I'm. You're not getting.
Since Watch and Play is back on Loading Ready Run's channel, I've been enjoying watching Alex and Graham play through some jank Broken Blade. Quest. The Blade of the Endless Paths updated. Amazing.
Keeping an eye out.
Yeah, Hendo? They count. People in the VODs count. You just got up on FF1. Hey, what did you think? Was it fun? Fun is really the overriding emotion of Final Fantasy 1's VODs. I certainly have a lot of time
All right,
talking
then.
about dragon holes.
I shall be discreet.
Hell yeah. Aloth, no! Are you a wizard? Use your spells. I can't run up and hit them with my stuff. You are a wizard. Bonk. it is a minor shame the Alcat games, so Kingmaker and Wrath of the Righteous, seem to be opposed to including the
Me too.
guns from Alkenstar, though they do recognize them as an important part of the setting. There are dialogue choices where you're like, have you been to Alkenstar? They have guns, it's cool there. But they seem to be opposed to including them, probably for mechanical balance.
My eyes are
Because I think it's really funny when Slam Shadows just goes, pew, and then kills a spider. It's amazing. The spikes look sharp enough to cleave bone. Ooh. Shades, Pigras.
Quefe.
What are you doing, buddy? Jeez. Sorry.
My mind feels sharper.
Let's go! Dead on!
There we go. Good job, everybody. Lovely crystals. Oh, more beetles. I know Fireball is not the most efficient way to deal with these. It's just very funny.
Just like
That's not very helpful.
Whoops. Do that.
Rith Uligna!
just like Mama taught me.
Stuck. Okay, well at least you're trying. A lot of our ranged characters just seem to stand there.
That's not very helpful.
It's not very helpful indeed. Indeed. But, you know, what can you do? What's here? An exceptional greatsword and nothing else. It was definitely worth coming all this way. Well, with that experience
I'm on
from
the
random
trail.
encounters and just wandering around, I'm glad we get satisfaction points out of exploring everything on the floor before we keep moving. Because sometimes that's all you get. Oh, look, stairs down. We're not done here yet, though. We've got a pain floor to walk across first.
Hey,
Alright, let's go. Ow, 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 ow. Ooh.
that's not nice.
Okay, well,
Right
if
here.
we need to unlock things, how many of them do we need to unlock? Just one.
If you say so.
Ouchie floor. Ouch, 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 ouch.
That'll do.
Oh, an old copper key.
Right here.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Hey,
Look at how wounded Devil is. Devil should be fine with this, to be
all
honest.
right then.
Luckily, Adair's a big, strong boy. Unique one-handed spear. Yes, please. Another small bronze key. Look at all these. Look at all these chickens. That's absolutely worth the pain we just put Adair through, isn't it? Right? All of those empty cages? Amazing. I also think at least one of those keys unlocks doors we've already walked through and just spent a lockpick on. Worth it, amazing, hilarious. I like Adair. That's how you have an ignorant racist instead of an active awful racist like Durance. Pillars! Jeez. It makes me uncomfortable. I hate it whenever it comes up. It makes me awkward for the rest of the game. Oh, Shades, die. That's why I straight up say as a setting brief in my D&D 5th ed setting, racism's not a thing here. Don't expect to see it And if you include the standard dwarves hate elves, even tropey racism, we're going to be like, the NPCs will react with, what? That's not a thing. What are you talking about? If there's any form of escapism I want to lean into, it's the people aren't shitty to one another based on that. Sorry. That's about as in-depth and comfortable as I'd get. Adair is a dumb deer, open to improvement, and is a dumbass. Yep, Luxie, you're absolutely right. That's how I see the poor little bastard. Plus, the growth!
I'll see what I can find.
Wait. Serious. Me too.
You can hear tortured screaming. Unlocking this will require the appropriate key that was not in a cage.
You're not getting through me.
Sagani crits for shock damage and kills it. Keep doing that, baby. Sagani, you're going to have the first top-tiered weapon. I don't know if that made sense.
Lava. Hey.
Yeah, Mako, you got a damn good point there. I'd love to fix problems because why else play games if not to fix problems? Oh, the next stairs down. Look at level 10. Look how short level 10 is. Remember they added... No. Remember they added additional floors to it with each, I think, 10,000 backers in the Kickstarter? So, like... If you were the 100,000 backer on Peerless Fraternity, would you feel, hey, my contribution didn't matter that much? There are games you play to cause problems on purpose. Yep, that's absolutely true too. Very good indeed. Ancient crumbling bones are all that remain of countless victims. Hey, a key. Fantastic. They're comedic games. And Monster Hearts is very much a problems on purpose style game, as far as I can tell. Rope like strands of webbing glisten with moisture. And I love that. I love Monster Hearts. But I just, like, even as this group of people turn up and solve racism, it's fun, great. But I just don't think that's enough for me to include it. At least in my session. I'll play that and happily tear down slave societies as well, because that's shitty and I don't want that to be included. But sometimes it's all you get.
I'm here.
It's just when it's included without examination, it's bad.
Hey.
We got a Rod of Pale Shades for unlocking. Rope-like strands of webbing glisten with moisture. Like I just wanted to repeat it again, and especially for everyone who's like a little horny, you know, a little horny here tonight, and I just want to hear me say it. Rope-like strands of webbing glisten with moisture. Hey look, we're down to level 11 now. Progress.
Time to see and not be seen.
Did anyone else hear that beautiful sound the Spaulding let out? Just running back and forth. Friends, I would like to encourage you to check out the VODs, like, about an hour after I finish streaming each night. No, they're up that long, but then they go live next week. So sometime next week, you're not going to remember this. Okay, so when you're in the VODs... No, that's not going to work either. There was a real cute sound from the Spaulding. Very adorable, loved it. I loved that our high stealth character is wearing heavy armor like that. Time Parasite. Amazing, yes please. You get them both. Whatever happened to the dramatic reading of that fic I recorded? The fic written by a friend of ours about a certain political figure. Like, I still have it. And because I accidentally read some other random person's on the internet, I've still got that one too. Just reach out to that person on AO3 and be like, hey, I accidentally recorded your smut. And then they'll be like, how? And then I have to explain the story again, and, you know. Fun, though. They shielded their eyes against the vampire's gaze. I mean, that would have been useful a couple of floors ago. Jeez. Fuck, that would have been very useful. 20 defense against confused, dominated, and charmed attacks. Her courage thick as steel. Oh, hell yeah. Lifesteal aura. Vampire. Okay, so, Mako, I've been over this a couple of times. I'm going to repeat it every time. It's a more faithful translation of the Old English version of vampire. Good, you know, because the D word's supposed to be very Welsh. You don't buy it every time. Ah, but I mean it every time. I swear. I'm not making it up. Two-pair encounter, extra damage and hobbling. Break engagement, and that's pretty useful too. 10% of all hits turn to crits. That's pretty good. I don't hate Vampire. I think it's fine. Again, of course. It's cool, but everything else is modern English, except all of the Italian in the Valiant Republics. Or pseudo-Italian. And the Polynesian and other island, and the Polynesian and other oceanic cultures we'll discover in the sequel. Well, yeah, alright, well, you gotta say it, Mako. If you're not there, there's not much we can do about that. Incoming melee attacks that target deflection and miss or graze have a chance of allowing an instant full attack riposte. That's good. Let's do that. Hell yeah. Rogue abilities of the Devil of Korok, yes please. Oh, it's actually break time. What a good time to have a break. And I will see you in roughly 5 minutes at 8:35, okay? Catch you soon. Come on, cat. Okay, back to... Yeah, alright. We're back. Only a little bit later than normal. There was a cat on my chair and I had to pick him up. What's today's cocktail? A beer. It's a porter. It's a nice dark porter. Very lovely. I was going to turn it into a Boilermaker until I realized I don't actually want to drink that much tonight. Sorry. Even though I'm not working tomorrow either. I took some leave. I have 2 more days as well. It just happens sometimes. I don't like the feeling of being drunk that much. Especially not, like, with friends. Not unless I'm with friends.
Alright then.
If I was getting drunk with people, it'd be different entirely. Just gonna ignore that trap. Yeah, it is charmed again. We didn't pick that chant. We didn't actually edit our chants either. And you can't in combat. We will soon. Put it right up to the dragon one. I got this thing where occasionally, especially while working from home, I start to assume all my colleagues hate me, even if there's no reason to. It's just approaching the period where it was just getting a bit too hard to do regular business as usual tasks. So I took a day. Did anyone else see that the Chain Lightning Elf cast against this disease pudding immediately bounced onto Slam Shadows because he's considered an enemy while he's charmed? Now that is a question for your tabletop role-playing group, absolutely, right? And you should ask your wizards and or casters, hell anyone that, because that's really fucking cool, right? Your spell, Chain Lightning, as far as you understand it, it hits a target that jumps to 6 foe jump targets, rules as written. If a member of the party is charmed at your table, would you have Chain Lightning bounce to them? The magic is controlled enough that the wizard is saying it's not going to hit my allies even when they're in melee combat, even if they're wearing large amounts of metal armor. Would it suddenly change? If they've been charmed? A video game, this GM, which is the mechanics coded into the game, is like, oh, well, they're an enemy. It hits them now. At a table, I wouldn't want my wizards to say, yeah, man, it fucking kills them now. Lol. But, boy, is that a cool decision for your characters to make. How does that magic work? Does it matter if the wizard knows their ally has been charmed? I mean, yeah, otherwise you end up doing spy checks like Team Fortress 2, where you're casting semi-dangerous spells on your allies to see if they'll actually work. Is it all in the wizard's head? Is he actively controlling this action? So if your wizard says, yeah, he's an enemy now, and that's it. Or do you have a super dramatic moment where your wizard friend is like, I'm trying to cast the spell you can only cast on enemies, and this team member betrayed us last session, and it doesn't work because I just don't see them as my enemy. I'm gonna steal that. That's great. You also... Swamp Spore activates Dominate, misses Devil twice. I don't think Devil can be charmed as well, which is pretty neat. That's why it's good to have a robot on your side. Robots are awesome. Eloth! Yeah, we got a couple of casts. Tentacles, please. Walk up and summon them. Stop using your spear. So the knowledge of the wizard knowing someone is their foe in order to direct them where the lightning goes. Yeah, I mean, you could have essentially this argument is also, does the spell happen outside of the wizard's head? Like they just use the magic and it happens, it does its magic thing, or is the wizard able to control it? That's a similar sort of question. Perhaps wizards can control it and sorcerers can't? I love the wizard-sorcerer dichotomy. Why did I take it off? So you have more of my cool hair, which is way too long, and now that I can get hairdresser appointments, may go get it cut. and recognize it and actively manage it. Yeah, but like
Your
the
own
solution
Watcher.
solution is also like asking for reassurance from team members who don't owe me that. They don't have to say, no, you're fine. And the stress and anxiety that my brain is going in a loop to do that all the time makes me think, makes me worse at my
You're
job.
not getting through me.
That was something I recognized when I
Your
worked with
thoughts
my
must-
friend Bill. Like,
Indeed.
there were days when my brain
Hey.
was working in a loop and I was dumber. I was worse at this job I was learning on site with him because I was spending so much mental energy just trying to tell myself that I wasn't an idiot, or like trying to convince myself that I wasn't acting stupid. It sucks, you know? If I go none, what does it sort by? Date picked up. Skadob's Hazel. That's pretty good. Would I drink a $55 bottle of dark ale? How big is a bottle of dark ale? I would not purchase a $55 bottle of dark ale unless, you know, there's a specific reason it costs that much. Would I actively drink it? Yeah, of course. I'd open it up. I'd probably write a perfunctory and wakey review about it as well, because I've been doing that. Ooh, Orkney Island. Lovely. Impulsive syndrome's a pain in the butt. Yeah, it comes out of anxiety too, which apparently I have. I've been arguing that I don't for years, and it turns out I'm wrong. I don't want to get prescribed. Primarily so I can continue, so I can start and or continue taking the weird fun drugs that you can't take when you're on other medication. Shh, don't tell Twitch. Nope. Charge. Finally get the charge. At level 13. I've been trying to do other things as charge for a long time. Luxie, how could you?
Of course.
Betrayed.
Secrets whisper.
Nope. There we
Deal.
go.
I shall listen for them.
The luminous mushrooms give off a heavy, earthy musk. Nice. Friendly swamp spores. Manpegua. Hey, buddy. Okay, now they're no longer friendly. I was gearing up for some nice dialogue. It's like Gate Arbit for mental health, yeah. You're queer in a way that causes you to have mental issues. Hey, it's not my fault life is hard. I'd like you guys to go deal with that.
I'm here.
You're standing in the way.
They both slumber.
Why do you keep switching to range attacks? Aloth is down. Love me a giant dank spore.
My bow's ready. Dead on. Let's go.
It's just the power of foresight, that's all. I can picture things potentially going wrong and then you take steps to avoid it, and it's amazing. Then when you do it correctly, everything works out and you don't have to worry. Don't think about what happens if something goes wrong. Of Dexterity 3. That's not bad on a ring. Preservation is also pretty good. What is it, though? We need to go through our inventory. This place is a mess. Should clean up everything here. What is going on? Defense or stunned and prone. Did your school do those color hat things? I think I know what you're talking about. The type of intelligences, is that correct? Or at least what you're picking up here? Everyone who needs Dex as a primary already has it. I'm giving it to a dare because it's a strict upgrade from this defensive ring. And he needs Dex as well.
Hey.
Oh, look at here.
can play the game without auto pause when you find a trap, and then you will step on everything and die. Oh. Viennarina's leaves. Cool. None of us here use rapiers. See this? This means we're on the wrong side. Back over this way. Black Cat was finding a potential. Meant to be a okay. Green hat for creative thinking, maybe yellow hat for positive thinking. It's meant to be approach things by putting in each hat in turn as a way to solve problems. That's not bad. Adair, de-stealth, and charge. Guess you're in a good spot to deal with the shade, aren't you?
One repels my touch.
Look at that charge. Move through our allies to deal with it.
These ones are in for a walloping.
I agree. These ones are in for a walloping. Adragan. There we go.
Hey,
Black Hat's finding potential issues. In Black Hat all times.
I'll keep an eye out.
Hunting down hackers. Yeah, that's... I agree. That is likely an anxiety response. Luckily, my idealism carries me through. I'm like, no, everything's going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Lol. In fact, if we think about it too much, it'll be sad, so it's not. Lord Bwingar, a cruel ruler from the north, has arrived at the stronghold. He hopes to get an audience with you concerning a local rebellion. We're going to kill him. Oh, we're actually just here to rebuild the South Curtain Wall. Partially built, my ass.
hey.
So now we can interact with this. A winding mass of vicious thorns and thick vines spans the gap between the cavern walls. There are spaces here and there in the vegetation. You can see into the chamber beyond, but it will be difficult to pass through unscathed. Look at the vines. The vines have grown so thick and tangled as to form a nearly impenetrable wall. Many of the thorns are as long as the spine of your palm. From time to time you hear the faintest creak, as if something has shifted slightly within the mass. Across the wall. The moment you start to step through, the entire wall gives a great heave, coming alive in a surging mass of branches and vines. Thick, thorny branches swing at you with vindictive force. Despite your best efforts to avoid them, Slam Shadows gets hit hard in the head by one of the vines. The plants seem to react to their victory, thrashing all the more vigorously. Shit. Scythe-like barbs tear and scrape at you as you pass, surrounding you in a hailstorm of scratching, thrashing plants. With one final great effort, you scrabble clear of the vines, stumbling out into the space beyond the wall and out of reach. Slam Shadows has a concussion.
Hey.
Why did I do that? Well, I don't want you to miss, why you can, but it allows you to avoid this gigantic fight. I like that that's an option. Allows for interesting play. Cool. Yeah, it's a decent skill, Hendo and Larxie, exactly. It's very important, and going without it at all would suck, but as I'm sure we're aware, occasionally it's overwhelming. Endless Parts of Odd are level 12.
You're not getting through me. You're not getting through me.
We are now close to the level of our party. Aloth, you killed something with your staff. How many's that, buddy? 3! What a good man. You can end up in anxiety spirals? I sure can. What is that? Fat, squirming larvae bob in this green liquid.
Quith.
You're not...
group of robed figures blocks passage. Their heads bear a fearsome resemblance to those of the spiders that infest these caverns, their mandibles clacking in small and constant movements. In the dim light of the caverns, their round black eyes gleam like gems. They look up as you approach. You feel a peculiar itchy sensation in your head, as if someone were running thin fingers through your thoughts. Meow! I know, you think it's pig ramble outside time, but you're an indoor cat. A muted sense of distress fills your mind, followed by the far louder screech of alarm from one of the robed creatures, as one of the creatures turn towards you and attack. You've killed a few already. Aloth, hit Itamak with your staff. Just wait, he'll come to his senses in a minute. Itamak, also, perhaps please stop trying to bat Aloth's ankles off. Good boy.
Hey.
Vithrak brain, added to the stash. Something to be said about how easily we're just like, yeah, we'll take it. It's absolutely a thing that we own.
My mind feels sharp as steel.
That sucks, Oxy. What the hell?
Hey.
For the benefit of the VOD, Lucky's literally lost the job for not being enthusiastic enough 1 week after saying in the staff room that you'd happily do it unpaid if it wasn't for rent. How much more enthusiastic did they want you to be? Well, hey, Trooks! Good to see you tonight. That's that's one, shitty, absolutely. But I lost the job for not having initiative. Didn't lose the job, actually. I resigned because they don't need to fire you. They just need to make you so miserable that you quit yourself. Pretty sure it was just someone who personally disliked you. Yeah, that's it. That's how it goes. You don't have to...
My mind feels sharp.
They need to find reasons to write down why, and those reasons need to seem rational, but the decision does not have to be rational at all. One of the reasons I was told that I was not suiting position and therefore they made me miserable was that I wasn't showing initiative. But whenever I tried to do something, they shut down the idea.
Nice and quiet.
Honestly, it'd be more accurate that I wasn't showing initiative the way they liked. Who knows, right? Who knows?
Cuece. Silmes.
Luckily, that's way in the past now, and we only suffered the scars from that event. Benefits of VOD again. Triggs is like, so where was that job? And is reminded that this is the internet.
Not getting through me.
Damn, missed.
Yeah. It's all good. This is just our lovely chat, but I can note we have 8 viewers.
Me too.
Just a few of us who are happy to be in the chat as well. So, shout out to VOD, everyone who'll watch it in the future, and shout out to everyone who's watching and not in chat. You're a part of this too. We're having a good time.
Cuece.
And we're deliberately avoiding the clear, dramatic set piece of the area and exploring the rest of the map instead. Which is something I do all the time. A mad Vithrak? Oh no!
I shall end this.
Let's go!
Shed no blood.
I haven't mentioned it in a little while, but it is extremely odd to have Cypher use a two-handed greatsword. It doesn't suit their kit at all. It's very funny, though. The Blade of Endless Parts. The polished pommel stone added to stash. We can now rebuild that. These remains are old and brittle, and the scattered fragments along the cavern floor suggest they were dragged here.
Slow and silent.
This is how you play Diablo 2, Triggs? Exactly. Ooh, found the next area. Time to turn back and explore every inch of this one. Yep. And, I mean, that fits really well in an action RPG as
Ain't
well,
that special?
because, like, there's not a lot of...
Hey,
There's less narrative than in an isometric RPG like this one to go through, so it makes more sense to go, well, time to squeeze
wonder
this
what this
map
is.
of as much gameplay as possible.
hey,
The gameplay is you go everywhere and you click on things, and then when they die, you go, great, and you click on something else. What? Damn it. Well, we started the dialogue. Gesteric. You feel a sharp and sudden pain in your head, immediately followed by a harsh and alien voice. A chick, Kalathua at... Nay, Orlin, a Devasti. The creature makes a peculiar clacking sound before its voice speaks in your mind once more. I name it Trespasser, Killer, Lingerer in Bright Places. Where is it going? How's it... No. Nice spider. No, it's kind of racist. Let's not do it. I'm just exploring. I don't want any trouble. Let me pass and I'll be on my way. Nay, it is not passing. It is remaining here a time. The creature lets out a high, piercing whistle and its fellows move towards you. Farewell, Trespasser. No, buddy! Come on! The Vithrak sinks to one knee, a hissing, gurgling rattle in its throat. It is a vile, scheming thing. I curse its eggs, its family. May it go stumbling into the dark to die. Finish it, worm. Take prisoner, or say as you wish. Well, I'm not imprisoning you. That's awful. God, that's a terrible binary. As with so many things, the binary decision is awful.
You're not...
Glad we didn't say we are a spider kicker,
hey.
but still, that's not cool. Kestrick, I don't know who you were, but you could have been a buddy if you at least said, oh, hey dude, what's going down? Instead of saying, you're gonna kill me. Maybe you've been through a lot. Maybe I can understand. I'm sad for the way things might have been. Vithrax, Checkerick. Well, hey. You feel a scratching sensation in your head, followed by a sudden high-pitched ringing. Scattered images flash within your mind's eye. You see a massive nest set against a cavern wall stretching up into the darkness. A vast network of webs somewhere far beneath the surface. You see, too, the sentries you have recently slain, their bodies lying crumpled on the cavern floor. When the images fade, you see another of the spider-faced creatures standing before you. It raises its clawed hands. You feel another twinge inside your skull, and then words emerge within your mind, in a voice wholly alien to your thoughts. Orek, Duvathi na rotu valak nat. The creature pauses, its fangs twitching. Kaladina foster agrengi dare? Do you know any Adirian? The creature makes a strange chittering noise. In your head you hear, dear tongue. Many turns of wheel since last given thought. Animal is trespassing. Nests are here. Risk much in defending. Protectors are dead. Animal is sated. Animal listens now. The creature makes a clacking sound. Not fighting? I'll listen. There's no need for more fighting. Yes, animal is not needing to fight. The creature spreads its arms. Vithrak greets you. Welcome to Nest. Animal is keeping peace. Tell me about the Vithrak. The Vithrak looks at you for a moment, then down at itself, and back. What is Orlin, animal? Vithrak people see what others do not. See light inside dull shell. It points at you. See great, burning light. Vithrak speak without voices, and in many hundreds of souls in great city. Stravek Nareth is colony. A great journey. Animal will walk a long time to reach it. Well, what are you doing here? Vithrak searching, seeking knowledge for home, for colony. Strekvarek Nerith. Far away. Long time we have searched. We grew sick with memory of home, made nests, made new home, and found what we seek. Master of this place. The Vithrak gestures at the walls around you. Gru Adra. not cutting, breaking, growing, shaping. If Vithrak could find secret, making great works, statues, machines, Vithrak could weave silk and Adra both. Our nests become stronger, colony becomes stronger, all of us weaving great works. You feel a sudden melancholy from the Vithrak. We are close, finding machines, crystals, finding Adramen too in place below. Have lost many, too many. It regards you with sudden interest. All an animal is strong. Defeated other animals. Killed guards. Could help Vithrak. What exactly are you after? Things for study. Things of Adra, all in the ruins below. Must see how Odnua makes Adramen. Adra shells, yes? Animal does not need to kill Adramen, just needs shell. Also needing part from machine, part like heart of the machine, Adra and shining metal. The Vithrak thinks a moment. Last piece is Adra. Not Adra from walls, is different. Pure. Hard to find. Charak is hoping there is some below. If all an animal brings these things, Vithrak owe animal great debt. Will help colony, help us, can go home after so long waiting. For this great thing Charak would reward animal. I'll go see what I can find. The Vithrak makes a peculiar clacking sound, and in your mind you feel a hazy gratitude. Then Charak is grateful. Way to ruins lies east. Scats have carved through stone. Found stairs. Found more than stairs. They guard us now, from what is belief. No, they don't. Animal must explain task. Let Kestorik lets pass in peace. Charak pauses. Kestorik is not kind. Animal is taking care. Whoops. Table stealing. Nope. Grievery. The Vithrak studies you alertly as you approach, its dark eyes gleaming. Its voice in your mind is pleasantly melodic. Ato tongue is welcome, Creevy happy to see. Many new things here. Points a claw towards the cavern wall. Many crystals, it adds. Excited. I take it you like shiny things? He tilts his head. Yes, it's shining. Much light, many colours and veins of world. It's going down to heart, Creevy thinks. Makes a small, happy chirp. What are you doing? Vithrak raises a clawed finger to scratch lightly at one of the Adra formations growing along the wall. He's studying Esekareva. Adra. How growing, shaping, using. Is Stravek Narith. Adra not growing. Creevy will learn secret. Creevy also hunting supplies. Isid is helping, searching caves to south. The Vithrak points. He's taking a time, adds with a hint of reproach. He's going alone too. Creevy is not liking. I think I may have run into Isid. She attacked me without warning and was forced to defend myself. Creevy sees. For a moment you feel a peculiar scratching sensation within your head, and then it is gone. Creevy is sorry for Isid's actions. It's very strange, Isid acting so many strange things in this place. Creevy is collecting many things while studying Adra. Not all stones alike, yes, having pretty stones. Thank, please. Creevy thanks Edir tongue. It's good to know. Got some stones. Even at a distance, these bottles and jars exude strange odours. Small, grotesque items float in a murky liquid. Did it double check my brain? It did! Adra coats these cavern walls like moss. It's strangely warm to the touch. Oh, oops, we went over here. We were like, hey, we're just passing through, and the dude killed us. Tried to attack us, and we killed it. Sorry. Oh, dudes are really appropriate. See, this guy. And then we wandered back over and was like, hey, and they said, yeah, just explain your task, I'll let you past. But also warned us, he's kind of mean and may turn on you. Did double check our brain. Maybe it double checked our brain not because it thought we may liar. It may be a liar. It double checked our brain because it was worried. And it wanted to be certain. I didn't explain it so well. Think about it. If you can, as part of communication, get images that the person you're talking to saw, you could reach for more information by reaching inside. And I bet in that society that's pretty common, not even that weird. Oh yeah. A clue to show, to explain their behavior, also pretty interesting as well. Broken machine, ink with a machine part. The master's tools. We agreed to pick up a bunch of Adra items, and we're gonna... Hello, kitty. Captain! Not happy tonight, are you, little guy? Come here. You're okay. You want to sit on my lap? Maybe. Maybe not. Back on the computer for a bit? Go on, kitty. You just settle for a bit, okay?
Quickly.
You're not getting through me.
This one repels might.
That's not very helpful.
Kitty needs a fish. Maybe. Spirit! The spirit stands stiffly at attention, her gaze focused to the end of the hallway. One arm bears up a heavy round shield, so the rippling blow of soul energy obscures what lies upon it. Hello? Her head turns a little. They've passed the Blight Forges. If the Overseers live, we may yet stop them in the chambers beneath. She snorts. If Kibiros and his pack of scheming wizards haven't betrayed us. The mob may be on us soon. Better to make peace with whatever God will have you. She pauses, looking at you. You afraid? Afraid of what? Indeed. What's to fear at all? She looks away from you. Our own people turn against us. What remains if we are victorious? Who will feed the machines then? I do not fear the battle. I fear what will become of our Lord once we are victorious. What further madness the children of the wheel will pour into his ears. Perhaps he would stop once the sun is returned to him. But will they let him? Children of the wheel? While Odnua contents himself with his titan, they dig after the very heart of heaven. She gives a sour laugh. Madness. All of it. And yet Odnua holds them close to his side. None of this would have happened if not for them. They've driven our great lord from grief and into madness, pushed him into these deeds. She pauses. He was a great king. Perhaps he will be again. Come, we'll rally the defense of the steps, funnel them into our blades. With the animates beside us, they won't stand it. The spirit gasps, wordlessly, mouth agape. She gropes for something at her back, unseen, and takes a listing step sideways away from you. Her eyes, wide, gaze into yours. You, Trey. Her leg buckles, and she falls the misty lights. And as she falls, the misty lights which form her shape thin and scatter. Traitor in the house of Odnua.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
They were the children of the wheel. Why are they whispering that Odnua build a gigantic item? What were you doing at the front? Aloth?
Gotcha!
That's not gonna work. Don't run into it. Of course you did. Good job. Why did I even get that spell? Connecting the two of us with a ray is very pointless. Oh well. Good job, Itinek. You killed the Adra animate. There's several strange mechanisms of cracks in several places. These strange mechanisms of cracks in several places. And some components appear to have been dismantled. There is no clear means of activating
Hey.
them. Cool. Just potion of endurance, ruby. Animates, nothing else here. Let's continue moving.
Your
Hey,
thoughts must
rebooting.
flow
Good to see you
deeply
tonight.
indeed.
You may be late, sure, but you're here, and you can always catch up in the VOD. We accidentally killed a Vithrak for no reason, and we all feel bad about it. Yes,
That's
everyone.
not very helpful.
Paths. Yep, bit of a breather episode. You know, just to get deeper that we've leveled up a bunch. Cracked animate armor. An Adra shell. The Master's tools.
Keeping an eye out.
So many traps.
Oh, look at here.
I've heard traps described at a role-playing game level as puzzles with consequences. No, I like that, right?
Hey.
It's a great term. But it does mean that in your trap design you need to include puzzle design. Wrath of the Righteous. I know, I'm sorry. I'm just playing it a lot. All traps can't be like undone right next to the point in which they are going to be set off. So to undo a trap, you need to somehow get around it in some way. That's a decent enough puzzle. It's like pointing out a pit of bad. This is a bad thing. It's looking at you. What are you going to do with it? And your answer is, oh, I'll get around it somehow. And then deal with it there. If a trap is nothing other than step in this particular place. Okay, if a trap is nothing other than roll a d20 to see it and then roll another d20 so that you can not die or not suffer the consequences of it, it's not very interesting. It's a lot more interesting if they are puzzles that can be solved through description or cleverness. And if you can't come up with anything, if the players can't come up with the actual solution, they can roll a d20. Surprise puzzles, yeah. There's surprise consequences too. I did not know stepping here would have a click and then an explosion. Come, help me here. The spirit holds his hands just above the shattered machine, poised as if to pull on some unseen component. Brace there, and we will be rid of this one. Each word seems to resolve itself in your mind an instant after it's spoken, as you recall the Angwithan tongue. He waits a moment, evidently for someone to take up position. Pull hard. Now. There! He sags back, wiping his brow. These machines, to think how many souls have felt their touch. And how many of those willing, I wonder. You're breaking the machines? It will go faster if we knew what enchantments were upon them. They might as easily be activated as destroyed. He grins a little. Don't worry. I knew what I was doing. Come, they've already started sealing the upper floors. We'll be the last ones out at this rate. Doiros means to work some spell upon that door. Use Odnua's servants against him. Door? There must be 100 souls to fix that stone. A punishment, no doubt. Perhaps they'll be pleased, knowing that Odnua goes wailing to the afterlife. What kind of spell? He cannot unmake the door entirely, but he can change its purpose. The oath, you see. If Odnua's servants are pledged to his defense, we will pledge ourselves to his destruction. The man gives you a fierce grin, turning away, and from one step to another he is faded, only to appear once more beside the machine.
Let's see what we got.
Curious. Oh, Henry, that's hilarious. And sad, but hilarious. We avoided traps on the way into a cage, rescued a kidnapped caravan party, saved them, forgot to tell them about the traps, they died on the way out. Oh!
See?
Top notch, hilarious, very sad. There was a hunter, a ranger class kit in at least one version of Pathfinder includes a bear trap. That's funny. Bear traps are funny. Can you move these? You can't. You need to click them in order. Hold circle, not rest. Oh, that's just great. Let's rebuild it then. So, dragon? No. Dragon to start. Lifesteal, then increase deflection. Terrify enemies. Range weapon increase. That should be earlier. Reduces damage, and then deals a little more damage and continues. Let's use Chantley.
Hey.
I don't strictly need everything, but it's funny.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
I'm glad the GM reminds you, because it is their job as a human that is supposed to, like a human, they can use their ability to remember things and deal with unexpected trials, unexpected changes that in a way that a computer can't. That they can say things like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And deal with unexpected changes. There were the ranger class, at least at some point, started with a bear trap, and so I used it a couple of times to set up a trap, which is a lot of forward planning for a traverse who doesn't do a lot of forward planning. And then at some point I just forgot. I set it up before a combat. It didn't go off. I didn't recover it. And then we asked, after we dealt with the main boss, we asked the city guard to investigate the dungeon after we left. It's about 6 sessions later we realized we sent city guard potentially down to go step on a bear trap. I imagine if we ever return to that city or town, they'll be like, "No, we're not helping you. You didn't even see a cleric for poor Barry's leg. Fuck you." Funny. Sad.
All right then.
What do we got?
I'm on the trail.
Picking up some things. Well, maybe we should take a nap. Free camping supplies? Hell yeah. Another spirit.
Oh, look at here.
From disarming a trap, Aloth can level up. Delayed fireball. Let's do Delayed Fireball and Killing Bolt. Spell mastery of banding missiles. I would be casting Fireball too often in times where we don't actually need it.
Hey.
This hazy figure is tall and heavily built, and its shifting, indistinct face is turned towards the door, as if it were deep in thought. You hear a faint murmuring and the rolling cadence of a prayer. From time to time, the spirit seems to sway in place. As you approach, the spirit raises his voice, and you hear the familiar sounds of the Ingwithan tongue. "And no more shall souls splinter upon the wheel. Hear me, great father. I am pledged against your foes, and the greatest of these is death. Listen." The spirit turns its face towards you in a swift motion. For a moment, its features blur and then resolve into what appears to be a man's visage, its eyes fixed upon you. "You are late." "Sorry, I was delayed." The spirit turns his face away. "He will be here soon. To cast us down, to unmake our work, is nearly too late." God spare me from vague spirits. Too late for what? His shift, standing straighter. "Are you ready?" He raises his hand, and you think you see the glint of metal, though a second glance reveals nothing. "They have placed your quest upon the animate, alongside my own." "The animate? You're going to sacrifice yourself?" He shakes his head. "Those of faith remain. We are the children of the wheel. Death is not for us." The spirit's gaze slides away from you as you depart. Even as you move away, he reaches an arm out for someone else, smiling. That's how animates work. Gleaming Hydra fragment.
Laying low.
We're rebooting to start role-playing in November. Fantastic. Glad to hear it. That's really good. You can have your groups over again. When vaccines are attack, you can have 10 people in the apartment, as long as they're all double vaxxed. I'm glad I am. Even though it wasn't a lot of fun. Still worth doing. Mastered spells. Oh, banding missiles, please.
Seals. Me too.
Spells. Love it.
I wish you no harm. Where is this?
Lava will be on seek.
My boat.
Most inconvenient.
Well, I was paralyzed for very little reason.
Wait.
Hey.
Get him. I'm glad you got your first a little while ago rebooting. It was fantastic work.
Of course.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Adra has grown into the crevices of these weathered shelves like fungus, pushing it past stone and copper. An easy form stands before you. From time to time, the blurry features resolve into what you take to be an elven man. I can't do this anymore. How am I going to explain? How can we possibly give him what he wants? The spirit speaks in quick, hushed bursts of Ingwithan and shakes his head as if to answer his own questions. He's going to kill me. He's killed so many. Why should he stop here? Who's going to kill you? Great Father, Master, Odnua. I am trying all I can do. All of us are, but we've come to the edge of what is possible. Are you still loyal to Odnua? Of course. I am a devoted servant. His voice goes high with terror. I didn't mean... Oh, please, never meant that I would renounce my oaths. Do you know the way past the door? Do you know the way past the speaking door? Speaking door? I know the oath, of course. We speak it every day. I am a servant to Odnua. My sword arm is pledged against his enemies. My soul is sworn to his purpose. Spirit seems to curl in on himself. Sworn. We're just going about this all the wrong way. Apparently we're supposed to know that there's a speaking door, likely this one, already by the time we get up there. But, we didn't. Yeah, good point, rebooting. If there's any difficulties in running online for me, it's that it's the same difficulties I had when recording a podcast. I can only have one person talking at a time. That's it. And I'm used to that. A large, ornate Engwithan door stands before you. To either side rest large crystals glowing with a faint light. You feel a peculiar change in the air, as if some presence were nearby, yet nobody to be seen. You hear a whisper, emerging as if from thin air, from the general direction of the door. It grows, both in volume and number, many voices speaking quietly. Shit. I have skipped something. Sorry. Beneath the stone and weight of years rests the one who would slay death. Who comes to wake him? Leave. Start again. Leave. Read it properly. Once more the buzzing swarm of discordant voices rises around you. As one they speak. Beneath stone and weight of years rests one who would slay death. Who comes to wake him? I am a servant to Odnua. My sword arm is pledged against his enemies. My soul is sworn to his purpose. You feel a peculiar chill in the air. The voices go sharp and terse. Here pass no traitors. You are struck by a sudden lashing arc of energy from the door. It is a sharp, piercing pain, but after a few moments, only the memory of it lingers. The voices quiet and fade, leaving you alone. Okay. I am an enemy to Odnua. My sword arm is pledged against his followers. My soul is sworn to this purpose. The voices seem to draw in breath. You hear the rumble of stone. And the door slides open. The crystals to either side of it dim, and with the light go the voices, fading first into murmuring whispers in silence. The path is clear. Yeah, so... Rebooting has it right. I did that on purpose. And I know it doesn't seem that way because I fucked up the starting dialogue multiple times, but I remembered that we got the correct oath, right? But we knew that the other spirit had fucked with the oath, or fucked with the door, so they changed it. And so 4 is the closest that makes sense. 7 was examined. Probably should have done that as well, but I was too excited to be like, twist, twist, twist. Hope you're paying attention. Your scouts attacked me on the way here. I'm sorry, but I had to defend myself. You feel a fading echo of loss run through your mind. Jack sees, is sorry for what Kestaric does. He's protecting Nest many years. From many things, the Vithrak pauses. Alden is not being harmed, Charrick hopes. Give Charrick the items. I have all the address samples. You feel another pressing itch in your skull, then a rippling echo of joy. Then Vithrak owe a great debt. With these we study, learn master secrets. We make statues greater than old dead master of Hollow Place. Stravek Nerith will gleam like the sea. Vithrak, thank you. Is having coin is custom, yes? Vithrak have coins of many ages. We'll give many. He thinks for a moment. If all an animal goes still into the deep places, should talk to Creevy. Creevy has supplies. Will help. Charak is giving this also. Found in tunnels. Does not suit Vithrak. Keeps all in safe. Will bring fortune. Glad to help, Charak. Vithrak, remember. Long after sun falls into sea. This is the start of something. New turn of wheel. Charak turns towards the nest lining the wall. Young will live in better place. Oh, God, I love a quest where it's a good outcome. Doesn't that feel good? Hey, Tritongue, still welcome. Is needing something? Your leader said you had some supplies to sell? Yes, Jarek is saying you help us. Creevy is collecting supplies. A dear tongue can see. Exceptional leather armor. Well, we could sell some junk, can't we? There's a few things we don't need. Binding rope. Binding! Hot. Character's hitting self. Stuck. Oh yeah, that one. That was bad. Into the stash. I can't do that from here. We're really only selling our own junk here rather than buying anything new, because it's like, oh cool, diamonds, some scrolls, exceptional robes you don't need. I'll take all your shinies though. Yeah. I like the Vithrak. I think they're cool. The ideas of psychic races are really interesting. I love them. I love the idea that they'd have a stronger sense of community when they're even, like, when there's less mental barrier. There's a sense of closeness. I mean, I don't like the idea of people in my head without permission, says Rebirthing, and like, yeah, that's true, that would suck. Gotta be some massive culture shock when you go up to them and say, no, don't go in my head. They go, what? You don't want to talk to me? I'd like to talk about it, though, that's fun. They who woke the stars. The grandfather astronomers who predicted the lovest tide that destroyed Ondra's gift took many of their instruments and notes and hid them out of fear that they might be captured by the Aderians. Decades after the war, the tribes recovered the astronomers' work. Unfortunately, all of the original astronomers had died, and much of their writing was penned in an unknown cipher. Two valiant dukes have offered a reward for anyone who can help crack the cipher for the Glenfarthams. The tribe are reluctant to let anyone look at the notes, but they believe it would be better to share their knowledge and let it remain a secret. Kana, this is built for you. Go. Go, Beer. Don't forget to go up before the Lord we want to kill goes away. Yep, an excellent thing to check. How long do we have? 5 days, 22 hours. I really hope we don't forget that one. I will try my hardest. We want to stab him because he wants to put down an uprising. You're a lord. They've probably got a very good point, my friend. Guardian of Odd Noah. Let's a fucking go. Delayed fireball. Let's see if this goes off without killing all of our peeps. Come on now, love. Pull out the good stuff. Pull out a major damaging spell too. Did you see that Adamant runs a long way around to also end up get hit by the awesome delay blast fireball? Thank you, Ella. Chain lightning might be appropriate. It's a toughie, isn't it? Let's go. Remember, we also don't have any healing because healing is for suckers. Finish off an opponent with a deadly strike. Cool, if only you weren't petrified. How long for? Another 7 seconds. Oh, no, it went down anyway. I think the Garden of Old Newer is down. Elof killed them, but you know, with a spell, so no credit. I don't think a blind is going to be enough.
Be on seek.
Shadnoka.
Yeah, wave will be fine.
This thing isn't doing the job.
I'm here. Got an arrow for this.
Good, good, good.
Daddle!
Yes.
I shall deal.
Bonk. Look at that.
Why, I could bed down here.
And tired, Slam? Maybe we'll take a nap soon. That's a throne, baby. Edge of Reason. Great name for an axe. Very cool indeed. What else
They
is
shall
here?
see nothing while I see much.
It's just that we're spending a lot of time resting because these fights are rough. Boyfriend dungeon. Yeah, I'm trying to catch up and watch your VODs rebooting because they're fun. Ah, damn it! I just skipped that cinematic entirely. Oh. Well. At least it wasn't super dramatic because there's no dialogue to it. Endless Paths of Odd Newer level 14. Small map. What's here? What is this? Have we found it? Spirit of Odd Newer. The shade emerges like a wound in the world, split open to reveal a hollow darkness. Beneath a writhing crown of shadow lies a gleaming mask, bearing the visage of an older man. The silver face turns towards you, features cold and still. From within the sockets of the mask's eyes, guttering fires emit their eerie light.
Who are you? Would you abandon your king? Take up your sword! To battle! The enemy has come!
His voice seems to reverberate through the chamber. The mask's eyes burn with a sudden new light, even as the room around you seems to grow darker. Up the stairs, after all the trouble I went through to get down here?
You are no subject of mine to be so bold. No lost soul, no soldier. Do you come for riches? For what gold you may peel from dead graves?
Shade's voice gains a cold and sour note.
Or do you come to me now for answers? The key, at last, to your great tale. So that you might sit by fires and tell the new people of the world what you have discovered, rooting through the bones of their forebears.
Is this the guy trying to overrun your castle? It's Odd Newer, the king who built the Endless Paths, who built the gigantic statue on which our castle is built. He built it to in grief, in madness, out of his son that died. Loxy says, Meku asks, is this a guy trying to overrun a castle? And Loxy says, possibly, is my answer. And I'm like, come on, I'm trying to be subtle here. I've come to stop the... I think there may be a lesson in such a story.
Knit what sorry tale you wish. Let them know what it was that the Engwithan people stole from their king. What treason has wrought.
Jimbles, you're as subtle as a brick, says Mako. You are not wrong. A very beloved person calls me a glass brick. Let them descend here and perish if they will. Something older yet than I dwells beneath us, and there it devours what spirits the beast of this place, then tumbling down toward the Adra. Odd Newer suddenly shudders. The shape of him seems to warp and twist. The tines of his dark crown grow long, and the surface of his mask ripples like molten ore. The mask turns.
None walk there save Odd Newer's line. You will not tread in that place. Not there.
The mask turns towards you. Streaks of golden fire running from its eyes. What's down there? All the souls the paths have ever known, bound still to the Adra, waiting for their chances of rebirth, or else trapped within the fragments. He reaches a formless hand towards his mask, only to jerk away if scolded. My son, somewhere. He must be. If you're not master in this place, who is? Something with a longer reach, for I can do nothing outside this wretched chamber. The stone is like an anchor. The mask turns back towards the crystal at the center of the room, and the body there.
Many souls do pass from time to time into this place. The Audra draws them deep, and there they are consumed.
The mask
but not by me.
The mask turns towards you once more. Something dwells in the place beneath us, and there feeds upon my people, as it did when we drew breath. It is an old, ancient thing, and you will not conquer it any more than we could conquer ignorance. Odnua suddenly shudders, and the shape of him seems to warp and twist. The tines of his dark crown grow long, and the surface of his mask ripples like molten ore.
None walk there save Odnua's line. You will not tread in that place. Not there.
Is this a Gilded Veil thing again, Mako says? No. No. If this thing is responsible for the attacks on Cadnua, then perhaps I can help us be both. How? Will you destroy that which survived the end of my people? No. You will only anger it. It will drink your life like water. But it's destroying this place as surely as Ingwithans did. It threatens your world, your homes. Not mine, for we are long dead. To me it is but an obstacle, and when it, too, at last perishes, I will have my chance. I have waited for so long, I cannot risk this.
But you see them. What remains of them? As the Mad One did before you. As I do. My subjects. My people.
I think it is the same VA as Durance. Why have you sent beasts to attack me? What are you that I should concern myself with your life? When they have trapped me here, I cannot cross the threshold. The way is barred to me. He is out of my reach even now. They have broken it. My statue, my memorial. The vein is severed and I am parted from the source. Still something dwells in the place beneath us, and there feeds upon my people, as it did when we drew breath, an old ancient thing. You will not conquer it any more than we could conquer ignorance.
None walk there save Odnua's line. You will not tread in that place. Not there.
I don't answer to dead kings. It turns sharply towards you. I will tolerate no trespassers. Not here. The sisters. The sisters will guard me still. Children of the wheel, this is not the eternity they longed for, not the discovery I promised, but still they linger here, bound by loyalty alone. After all this time, you will not be what sends me from this place. You have wronged a great many people. Yes, I know it. How could I not? I remember that as well. I have had so many years to think on all of it, to remember. There's not the chamber binding you. There's your rage, your grief. That is... No. I've tried to leave this place. I would go to my son. I would let nothing stop me. You are lying. The shade's eyes glow with an ominous light. The souls here, they're all trapped within a moment. They cannot free themselves. It's the same with you.
No! It is not my doing. It cannot be so simple.
Flame gouts from the mask's eyes.
Drive the invaders from the halls. I will go down those final steps, and there, finish my great work. None will stop me.
Mako says, sung like shots. Stats, 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 stats. Yeah, I agree. Love using your stats. Mako, Ed, rebooting, says, sounds like Maywold? Yeah. And he needs to chill. Sure does. Look around you. There are no invaders. Odnua turns, regarding the room, and then his fiery gaze settles back upon you. A blue fire sparks behind Odnua's mask, casting a sickly light across the tiles. No, you will go from here and bring them with you. Bring the mob again, with blade and fire. They will destroy all I have worked for. They will steal my only hope. Odnua raises his arms, now lashing tendrils of shadow. Will we allow the rabble to strike us from this world? To steal my son from me a final time?
Up, soldiers, up! Conquerors of death! Children of the wheel! Andara, Riomara, Esarna, keep them from the statue.
End dialogue. Quest updated. The Master Below. Confront the Master Below. Can you talk him down, or did you fuck up? I don't know if you can talk him down. I don't remember successfully doing it. I think you can. I also... Yeah. I also don't hate it. Like, I like that we kind of... Just paralyze everyone, sure, jeez.
Kinda stuck over here.
I kind of like that it's a hard thing to do. I remember being impressed... Oh, rebooting says you can, but it's hard. Okay. There was an option that's like, it likes it says there's an option that says, I'm not interested in your fucking statue, bro. Like, yeah, that would work. Yeah, let's just get backstab bonuses on the Spirit of Ardnoa. I remember being significantly impressed by talking down Saren and skipping a boss fight at the end of Mass Effect 1. Spoilers of Mass Effect 1. Until I learned the mechanics of it, of how you did it. And it's like, be Max Paragon or Renegade and click the appropriate, and have Max Intimidate or Persuade. That's it. And understanding the mechanics behind it made me feel like I'm not, like, less interested. I am far less interested in how that works. And that sucks, you know. Recall them back, not getting me prone on the way. Regains endurance, useful. 10 accuracy when using warbow and hunting bow, but get extra projectiles? Yeah, absolutely, let's do that. So guarding that's mode we're turning on and not turning off. Multiple shots, please. It's like when I learned how a game called, like, Game Creating Sim or something, Game Maker Sim worked. The game itself rewarded better overall if you made a game that was slightly better than the previous one, but not amazing. And once that was revealed to me, I had no interest in playing at all, ever. It's like, oh, okay, so the optimal strategy is to make a not great game, and then a not quite as not great game, and then a below average game, and then an average... No, man, no. I would rather find a lot more interesting if I was just going to make a good game over and over and play around with the system. So now the quest for the Endless Paths, wherever that is, Master Below, is confront the Master Below. However, Fernand Lasser and Kotor that saving Pastilla is not guaranteed. It's a conversation puzzle. You can fuck it up and kill him. Yeah. Look, I would reload too. You're not a chump, Mako. Save scumming or reloading to get the appropriate option is encouraged in a lot of games. Don't feel bad about making a product that has an option built into it, like, for using that option. Some kind you don't mind. It feels like you only get the best out if you play the game 5 million times. Game Maker Sim or Game Dev Sim. Game Dev Sim, that's what it's called. It wasn't specifically about play a billion times. Game Dev Sim. At least something similar to that. We've got a waterfall underground, hell yeah. We are at floor 15 of the Endless Paths of Ardnoa. It's a big map. And I can tell you, this is the bottom floor. Friends, we've made it. 15 minutes before the end of our stream tonight, we are at the bottom, the lowest floor. What level are we? We're level 13. We're on floor 15. 20 floors? Luckily not. Zorips? Cool, what are you guys doing down here? Wait a minute. This fight is a lot? Yeah, but we're playing on very easy difficulty. I'm not concerned about this fight. Actually, I'm a little concerned about this fight. Also, look, feet. No one clip that and send it to Dead Man, who's been enjoying teasing me about the most boring fetish ever for years. Warm air pulses through the aperture. You found the tootsies. Oh, Zoribs, hey buddies. Nice to have you involved. Oh my god. We've summoned Deadman out of nowhere by saying, please don't bring his... for God's sake. Buddy, that is the funniest fucking thing. You've been here the whole time? Oh, lovely to have you. So this is why I'm like, shout out to people who are watching and not in chat. Turns out they're very good friends.
Let's see what we got.
Mako, is a fetish more boring than vanilla? I'd say vanilla and or missionary only isn't exactly a fetish. But yeah, feet.
All this to find feet. I should have guessed.
Oh, Aloth, I love you. Remember how like every Monday I say, I should probably finish Critical Role? I still haven't. Have announced Campaign 3? I still haven't. Sorry. I'm onto Iron Fist on my MCU rewatch. It's better than I remember. Jibbles loves it. I find foot fetish so boring, I don't understand how people are into it. That's how I stand on it. It's so boring, I can't even find a way to eroticize it in a way that makes sense to me. And I can do that about a lot of things.
That's it!
I love having all these Zoribs nearby. Just hanging out. What good friendos. Have I considered not watching anime about an oblivious bisexual disaster girl, Fox trying unsuccessfully to court her? I'm hesitant. How many times do people get chibi? That's an answer, and a good barometer, if not the perfect one. Some max endurance is not going to be enough. Potions I can only use in combat. Speckleback jerky, that was what we used earlier. A little bit of max endurance, some intellect for look. It's better than nothing. How do you split again? Yeah, it's fun. Damn it, why did I do that? This is awkward, this UI design here. You can tell it's been... Oh, you've already got some. You can tell it's been years since Pillars 1 came out. Because... Devil of Karok can't use food, drinks, or drugs. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. Given you're not, human. Whoopsie. Okay, you've all got some jerky, so...
Ready, Watcher.
How may I help?
Right here.
I still clicked on Devil. That munch sound effect is great.
Hey.
Oh, it's My Next Life as a Villainess. Yeah, but I've heard that's good. Sorry. That's really good. I shouldn't be surprised, but there's this, I don't know, I'm really iffy when it comes to anime. I'm not the correct person. Hey, rebooting, that's great. Congrats on the gaming laptop. The stairs behind the head have crumbled away, leaving you at the edge of a dark pit. You have to proceed down carefully, and climbing back up may be a bit difficult. Climb down carefully. The shifting rocks and crumbling wall make progress slow and treacherous. In the last stretch before the bottom, Devil of Karok steps on a loose stone and rolls the rest of the way to the bottom. Clang, 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 clang. You find yourself at the bottom of a wide basin, looking up at titanic boulders and adra formations. She'll be fine. Well, She's got a twisted ankle. So there's a reduced reflex save, which is actually going to be pretty useful, because what if someone were to breathe some sort of energy at us? From under a cloak of gloomy shadow, lit only by the sickly hues of the Adra statue, emerges what can only be a dragon. Vibrant, living Adra plates its hide, and the movement of its great joints is like the grinding of boulders. A dragon stretches itself up to its full height, its horns looming like towers, and then lowers its head, turning a sharp and intelligent gaze upon you. If we puff up our chest real big and make loud noises, we might be able to scare it off.
Here you are, nearly at the heart of the world. What a journey you have made.
In a rumbling, lilting cadence of growls and hisses, the dragon speaks. Its teeth gleam like ivory spears. What is the dragon doing here?
I have been here since the beginning. I watched the Engwithans carve out their walls, shape their great titan. I have seen their final moments.
She lifts her head to look towards the statue.
We have that in common, I think.
Yeah.
How fortunate you are to learn such well-guarded secrets. All it has cost you is your life.
She settles a golden-eyed gaze upon you. I think I'll just go home. I think I'll just go back home, count my gold, live a long life. After all this, think of how many have died to stand where you are now. How keenly jealous they would be. So you're the one they spoke of all this time?
In a fashion. Think on it. How many hundreds of souls killed by fawning Zorips, or devoured by trolls? Dashed against sealed doors, dragged screaming into dark pits by spiders. All to see what you have seen. A gate into the past. The history of a fallen people. The haunted treasures of a mad king. The final monument of a distraught father. An old man weeping in the dark. And each and every man and woman that falls comes here. To this place. To me.
What is this place?
All that remains of a dead man's greatest wish. A grand memorial, or merely a sorry little tomb. More than Ardnua's precious son are buried here, of course. Many more. It is where the Adra veins converge, before descending into the hollows of the world.
The dragon rakes her claws across the dirt. That is why it calls you all down here in the end. Though it lies now beyond reach. Do you feel it, now that you are so close? That pull towards transformation? I would rather not fight. That is your way, isn't it? To bandy words instead of blows, to negotiate and compromise. There are no sweet words that will save you here, Orlin. We've each come to our limits. I can't let you leave. You'll have every dragon hunter for miles down here trying to make a name for themselves. And you, well, you can't go any further. This is the end. Wait, tell me why you're down here at least. Surely you can guess. The dragon raises her head, looking towards the towering legs of the Adra statue. You know what power lies within the soul. Every living thing here, everything here, living or dead, knows it, feeds on it, thrives on it. I fed upon Ardnua's slaves while they toiled, and then, once I had grown upon the Titan and the living veins of the world, to go from a single feeble intelligence to hearing the voices of hundreds. Perhaps that sounds familiar to you. The statue survives, in part, as do I. We are much changed, the both of us. She raises Adra-laden wings, raised above you like a second ceiling. Nothing can feed upon the souls of thousands and remain the same. But you are the only one to have come so far. I cannot allow you to leave, not now that you've seen this place. You feed on the statue? With the fall of the Engwithans, the statue has come to hold the souls of its time and of the eras since. The dragon lowers her wings, and in consuming it I've gained what power and knowledge these fleeting lives provide. Every clumsy explorer, every mercenary and adventurer, their souls drift down, and some are caught here in what remains of Odnua's Titan. Any single soul is but a trifle, of course. Raindrops in the desert. What will you do when the Adra is gone? What indeed? Am I to dig my way free? Follow your tracks up and out of this place? There's a grumbling growl underlying the dragon's speech. Already the Titan is not it once was. I have a few centuries yet before the remainder has lost its power, and then I will starve. But it hardly helps you here and now. So you are trapped here. I came into this place as a hatchling. I was yet small, and my wings light. You will note that I have grown. The dragon stamps one mighty foot upon the earth, and the ground quakes. So too as the Adra weighed me down. But I am not wholly trapped, no. The mind wanders, and like your ciphers, I can cast myself beyond the limits of my bones. Only my reach is far greater than theirs. All that has happened since Odnua's fall, I have witnessed firsthand. The fall of cities, the death of languages, war, pestilence, the mundane lives of farmers and kings alike. Entire days I have lingered in the low consciousness of a people 100 leagues apart, but in time, always the body calls.
And here I return. The endless tide of treasure hunters. Odnua's sorrow. I have observed 100 lives upon the surface, and all are dear
Really?
to me.
Chat.
But the flesh reigns.
But you're a dragon. Isn't that better than being some peasant? It is an irony that is not lost on me, that you are very small and frail where I am not, and by being could so climb the steps and be free. When you are dead and gone, I will still be imprisoned. Hey, chat. I know, at 2 to 10, right? But still, we can go a little bit longer. There's always the VODs if you have to go to sleep right now. 1, 2, or 3. 1, is there no way to free you? Benevolent. 2, I'm sorry for your plight, but I can do nothing. And 3, attack. I can give you an escape from this life. I think that enemy has got the point. We got 3 votes for 1, and that's a pretty convincing lead. It's 4 votes for 1, let's do it. Is there no way to free you?
Do you mean to dig me free? There may be a way, if you are willing.
The dragon eyes you with curiosity.
I cannot send the whole of my soul afield, not at once. But if you were to take something of mine past the boundaries of this place, I could obtain a new living vessel, a body with which I might wander the world, as you do.
How would this be done? There is an old amulet, given me by the Zorops, with a talisman of Adra that might match my scales. Such tokens provide a grounding point, and if you could find the vessel that might hold a soul as powerful as mine. It is a matter of transferring my soul, first into the small portion of Adra, then into some adequate body. The meat of me dies here, but I will live in another form. A vessel? So I would have to kill someone? Weaken, not kill, but yes, someone of sufficient power that my soul will not burn their flesh to cinders. I've observed such a person in my journeys. There's a dragon hunter, Falana Roed, who has girded her soul against such threats. I would be lying, Olin, if I said I did not also enjoy the irony of it. She lingers at the shrine of Galawain within the scorched forests, the Black Meadow. Perhaps she means to rekindle that fading sense of victory. The dragon's laugh sends vibrations through your sternum. But what will you do in this new body? The dragon looks up towards the dark upper reaches of the cavern. I know not. Live out a final story. Everything which occurs to me, once I'm free. What is to be my reward in this? The death of this form in time. Your life. What wealth I can give you. 1 or 4? 1, I will help you. 4, no, I will not do this. How do we feel about dragon hunters? Is a decent question. We've killed a large drake ourselves. We didn't feel bad about it. Oh, or maybe a little bit. Several votes for 1, and I agree, to be honest. With 3 votes for 1 and roughly... yeah, there you go. Can go along with it, can decide what to do with later. Exactly. Like, we can take the talisman and say, lol, bye, and then leave. I will help you.
Then take the amulet. You will need to convince her by some means to place the amulet about her neck. With that conduit between us, I will have the means to displace her soul and gain my freedom.
But first you must return to the place where you slew your predecessor. Set that scale upon the Titan's hand, and I will then move my soul within it. Once you are out of reach.
Know this. I will not be easily betrayed, nor will mere stone contain me if I do not wish it.
Place the amulet upon the Adra statue's hand. Save game. It's 10:02, everyone. We've had a great night. Excellent plunging into the depths of the endless paths of Odnoa. I just wanted to bring your attention to feet. The Adra is so smooth you can barely feel the marks of a chisel. There's another foot over here. New pistol. Don't mind if I do. The Adra toenail is as hard and as smooth as a steel tower shield. Just like you might as well, right? Okay, so we're gonna help a dragon. Sounds good to me. And a body in the ground and just kind of walk through, yeah. Paint its nails, Jimbles, says Loxy. No, I'm not going to. Maker, you'd rather a curious dragon lady exploring the world than murder her for existing. Yeah, that's true. I don't have anything against dragons. Sure wish I didn't spend all that time talking up the fight. Before we're like, sure, we'll help you. It's all good. Look, next Monday night, you'll tune in and we'll see how this all shakes out. We'll go place the amulet on the Adra hand. Then say, hey, Dragon Hunter, I brought you a beautiful wreath of flowers. Just, I want to place it around your neck. Psyche was holding an amulet. And we'll see how that goes. Jeez. Well, a lot of fun tonight. Thank you as always. Always enjoyable, right? And I'm scheduled to turn up again next Wednesday night to continue our adventure into Final Fantasy II. So that'll be good fun. We got significant depths into Final Fantasy II in a single night, so it may be like, oh hey Corey, good to see you tonight. So we may like catch up again. May only be another 4-episode series in Final Fantasy II. Yes, it's in this Wednesday, 2 days from now. You know, we'll sort it out. You can also always check the schedule on Twitch, on my channel, it does state. And also shouts out some cool people you should go watch when they're live. And I know tomorrow night at roughly 5-ish, not super sure, False Security is doing another stream Tuesday nights. And I'm always busy Tuesday nights, so it'd be great if you want to join in and watch her. Otherwise, I'll catch you later. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you all in the VODs.